Welcome back, everyone, to session 19 of Pandemonium. Uh, Today, we're getting into two of our last archetype adventures, but let's do a bit of a recap. The crew has been pretty much kind of all over Ateria after helping the Squad 7 of the High Arbiters say or bring the Emperor's body back to the Burning Dragon Monastery. The group has had some time to both kind of advance their own ends within Ateria as well as start building connections to other groups that exist in kind of the world of Kazia as a whole. With Jeet kind of deepening his connection with the Burning Dragon Monastery and becoming a flame keeper, one of the worshippers of Nar, Mockery joining the Hell Knights and becoming an arm rigger in their ranks. And now Will and Wisteria getting the opportunity to pretty much audition for some of the new factions. With Will getting to try his might or try his mettle at earning a spot within Vox Populi, a group of talented individuals who try to hold the nobles and people in power in Kazia to a standard. Going against those who mistreat the little people or cause havoc and using kind of their wits and guile to expose these pieces of corruption and bring those lords, ladies, and rulers to justice. And Wisteria, we didn't get to the second part, but one of the offers that she had was uh, with Mokalin. Mokalin, the corporatocracy, this large industrial nation that pretty much has its hands in most of the Kazia's financial dealings, offered her a chance to end her exile from the nation by stealing, or actually not even really stealing, by retrieving stolen property or stolen intellectual property. When Finian the Forge Master left, he took the designs for a new experimental airship that was being designed in cooperation with Mokalin. Velnu just wants you to bring it back, promising to end your exile as well as appoint you as one of the kind of information gatherers for the Mokalin corporatocracy. Also, last session, the group brought democracy to the gavels, came up with a very complicated voting system that I don't remember. So, as I said, you guys are responsible for that voting machine. I did not write that down. But the group decided on a few things. One of the biggest being Velnu also offered them a chance for a sponsorship with his newfound weapons business, using their likeness to help him sell weapons around the world of Kazia. But the group, after a bit of a discussion and a pretty hearty vote, decided to turn that down, turning down the gold that he was offering as well as the ship that he promised to purchase for them. And with that, adding fire complications to the endeavor, Jeet mentioned to the group too that his mother let them know that if they are not able to make General Thamza or General Thrax bend the knee, the Imperialist will put a bounty on the Gavel's head. Uh, and even her own son would not be excluded from that. So the group has got some decisions to make on that side. But yeah, let's bring it back in. You guys are back at Akara. And I think we'll probably start because we had to wrap up the session a little bit early that side. But Wisteria, during the discussion regarding kind of what to do with Velnu's offer, saw a swarm of bees and was notified by the party that honeybees are the symbol of Noticia, the goddess of wisdom, and those bees swarmed and created like a little bit of a magic, producing a card. It was simply the High Librarian's name on it and saying to reach out with a faint sense of magic coming off of the card. Same with Stereo. So, I mean, after this, the group has split up with Will having his adventure with the Vox Populi rep. You can get a chance to kind of examine that card.
So, do I know anything about where I might find this person? or does it seem like the card might have some clues in that regard?
It doesn't have like you don't see like a location on it, but you do kind of sense a bit of magic kind of emanating from it. And if you do kind of like examine it for long enough, you'll start to feel an effect happening. But as you look at it, you start to see, and this card is like pretty like or not ornately, but intricately designed. You see, it's kind of got the motif of like a hive and bees kind of across it, along with the librarian's name. And kind of as you look at it, it seems to start twisting. You start to see the hive moving, and you even start to see the bees, kind of the wings start to flutter. And after a moment, you feel the card glow, and as it glows, it reaches, lifts from your hand, and you do see a figure emerge from it. This woman, clad in these kind of once again intricate, not ornate precisely, but definitely these long white robes, like sterling white, no blemishes, no marks, no signs of dirt or decay, with kind of little bits of gold around them. You see, though she is a woman, you see she is got these like long wings extending from her back. Her face looks like an elongated bee. You can definitely tell that she's kind of a beacon, one of the servers of Noticia in the realm of Avisara, and she's got like this floating halo, kind of made up of golden bees, kind of flying around her head. And she kind of comes out and she gives you kind of a small nod as she does, and goes, "It is good to meet you, Wisteria. Uh, I'm glad you decided to reach out."
So, are you the head librarian that this card refers to?
You see her kind of nod, and she goes, "Yes. I am the head librarian of the Kazian branches of Noticia's libraries. But you may call me Oline."
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Oli, and I hope this might be a mutually beneficial meeting. But I'm quite curious what I've done to catch you and Noticia's attention.
You see her nod and kind of walk kind of across the room, and she goes, "I I do hope this could be beneficial to the both of us. We've heard rumors that you are often a seeker of knowledge, but I was bid to ask you, though, do you seek knowledge for knowledge's sake, or do you seek knowledge to put gold in yours or other coffers?"
Knowledge doesn't belong to anyone, despite people having it. I only seek to increase the number and extent of people who have as much of it as possible. Because, as far as I can tell, only benefit to the world comes from that. Um, Gold is a useful tool to that end, but preserving knowledge and keeping it from others for the sake of gold is not what I'm interested in.
You see her nod at that, especially the last bit. She goes, "In that we are in agreement. Gold, often necessary evil, but knowledge should be shared with those who can use it well and wisely. We've heard tell, and I hope you forgive us for our eavesdropping, but we did hear your thesis, and after the rumors, the thesis, we thought there may be a place for you in our libraries. But we need to not just discern your own character, but discern your capabilities, if that makes sense."
I'd love to provide any sort of information about what I'm capable of that you may require.
Unfortunately, the pursuit of knowledge, as you said, knowledge should be kept secure, kept protected. Uh, and made in a place where it's available to all who can use it wisely. And Velnu did give you some information that we would most like to see brought to our libraries and used by those who could truly use it wisely. I will be under no illusions. This is a morally dubious task, but we would like you to steal those same plans. But rather than Velnu and his master Carinius selling them and churning out warships for a stack of gold coins, we feel there are other uses that could be made of those plans, not so much on the airship side, but some of the components in could help advance a lot of areas if used wisely.
To be honest, I was hoping you'd be making that sort of offer because I was interested in those airship plans, but definitely not in handing them over to Velnu at this point. I'd be happy to do this, although I have one question that I'd like to, or one thing I'd be interested in from you, just as a show of good faith. Could you tell me a secret, something I don't know? Doesn't matter what, I'm just curious. You seem to have a lot of knowledge at your disposal, and anything at all that you find curious, I suspect I will as well.
You see her pause and go, a secret. What would you do with said secret?
Probably share it with whoever is interested.
Would you share it with those who would use it wisely?
Of course.
She nods and says, well, if you accomplish your task, I will make you one of our seekers of knowledge, and I will share with you a secret. But at this point, we need to see if you are truly worthy of joining our organization. If you're willing to turn down the gold, the opportunity that Velnu offers you, if you have the skills to do what is necessary, and the temperament to know how to use knowledge wisely. If you can prove us that, I'll impart a secret that I know. But
well, it's just that, the more knowledge is shared, the more useful it is to the world at large. So again, it doesn't need to be anything groundbreaking, but I was kind of hoping you'd have a little bit more willingness just to share some piece of information with me.
she kind of smiles, and you see her wings flutter a bit, and goes, well, what would you do? We've got a task for you, an entrance into our illustrious organization. You want a secret, anything that would matter. Let us do this. I will let you into our libraries. We will let you read one of our books that we usually restrict to those who are worthy, and you can choose the book after you complete your task.
I mean, I suppose if you're going to keep this information restricted from me, I don't have any say in the matter. I'm going to help you out regardless. I'm just struggling to understand what you have to lose.
You kind of see her smile and go, I do appreciate the seeker of knowledge, but knowledge for knowledge's sake isn't often a grand goal, but a secret for a secret's sake is a dangerous goal. Narrow your question, and maybe I'll be able to provide that to you ahead of your task. Because a secret is a secret for a reason. We encourage seekers of knowledge, but as I said, we like our seekers to use their knowledge wisely. Seek what you wish, but do not ask for just a a grand secret that I shall reveal.
Um,
I'm waiting
I
for her
guess
to be like, Prince Terza is missing a toe.
Is Noticia's thoughts on this civil war something you'd be willing to share?
Oh, of course. The goddess is displeased with the war brewing here and the war brewing around all of Kazuya. Though I will say that is no secret. She often works alongside her companion Kosir to help bring peace when they can. Unfortunately, well, that is a secret I will share with you then. Noticia, she will not be at Kosir's tournament because she's trying to bring peace between two warring gods. The Zexus, the god of the psyche, as well as Power, the goddess of prophecy. People with a sensitivity to the psychic magics have started to fall ill, shall we say, due to their conflict and their chaos they brought to the astral plane. But that is the secret. Share it and share it wisely, but do not share it frivolously.
Wisteria nods but doesn't say anything.
You see, she kind of looks around and goes, well, as I said, I believe you will be a great seeker of knowledge with our organization. And as we said, with those we know can use our knowledge wisely, we are always happy to share what we can. So if you are able to accomplish this task, you will become a member of the Grand Library and have the honors that come along with that. The ability to access our libraries, as well as to be able to seek knowledge across Kazuya. But we need those plans. Are there any questions or any other thoughts you have before I bid you adieu?
Certainly a lot of different things I'm curious about, but I feel like you might not have the answers to them. At least not at this point, but I will bring them up again once this task is completed.
You see her smile and said, we do love a seeker of knowledge. If you accomplish this task, as I said, I will welcome you to our libraries, and we always love those who find the knowledge for themselves. But accomplish this, and you will see what Noticia and the Grand Libraries can offer. Well, I wish you fortune and good luck, and hope to hear from you with success. And as you see, kind of she speaks, the kind of the golden glow emits, and you see the kind of it starts to swirl again, the bees, and until it starts to kind of condense and become that same card once again.
After she leaves, Wisteria kind of like collapses back in her chair and puts like her head in her hand for a second and be like, and just seems very kind of stressed out about that interaction. Kind of mutters something under her breath about like just wanting to find out as much as I can. And yeah.
Perfect.
Is this an interaction she'd tell the party about?
Are we all, because we were just like all hanging out together when she got the card, right? Or
yeah, so you guys this would have been kind of at the same time Will went to his inn and split up. So you guys would be either kind of staying in the same inn, split up, or kind of wherever you guys may have ended up spending your night.
Yeah, I mean, at a very minimum, she would have written down everything about it in her notes. So maybe if anybody reads on that the next day, they'd certainly find out about it. Well, no, Wisteria would probably come to the party and say that, we had this job offer from Velnu. I wasn't interested in helping him out, but I've received a counter offer that seems like it'll be much more of a better opportunity for us, and explain the visit from Aline and all the details.
Does she mention the part where she asked for a secret and what occurred after that?
Yeah, she'd probably say something like, I assume the goddess of knowledge would be very open to sharing whatever information she has and through her servants, but she was surprisingly dodgy when I just asked for any piece of information. I don't know. I had this feeling that she thought I had some kind of ulterior motive, but I'm just trying to learn what I can. It's not every day I get to talk to a servant of a god or goddess, and she kind of rambles on for a bit about it.
I do it. Oh, I struggled with that voice for a second there. Sorry. Mockery would speak up and would go.
I think that's strange as well. She could have told you anything for a secret. The scent of a newly discovered flower that only a few know about. Why an artist intentionally misplaced a piece of glass in a mosaic. Why an in-joke amongst friends is found funny. Yet she had assumed the worst of you. I apologize.
Exactly. That's the sort of stuff I find fascinating. Just everyday secrets that don't need to change the world, but are all that much more interesting when people find out about them.
Perhaps it's about a matter of a perspective. What the gods consider a secret might be a different idea from what we might consider a secret. Something that's a secret to the goddess of knowledge could be dangerous. I don't know. Just a thought. They don't tend to think very highly of us in general.
I guess we must show them differently then.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully our conversation has a different feeling after we get these plans. So we really got to make sure we do our best with that. Hope I'm up to the test.
Perfect. Well, we're able then to kind of transition into you guys' downtime as well. So we'll give a quick recap on that side to see what the crew did in between sessions. With that, Bear, Belric made their way into the kind of the Eterian deserts, hunting for some poisonous creatures that they could extract the poison from, finding and hunting down multiple spear frogs and kind of going through the process to extract the poison from them and kind of dip a few of their arrows within that poisonous concoction. Jeet spent the time training, spent the time kind of enjoying training, but also getting back with one of his buddies at the monastery, Kazu, and getting a chance to kind of take a step back from the divine, but get back a little bit more in the kind of the rough and tumble field, we'll say, trying out some different wrestling moves with the chef and one of the lead wrestlers within the Burning Dragon Monastery, and learning a few new moves at the end of it. Will was able to work within a car trying to raise money for the Gavels and their quest to hopefully bring the Emperor back, requesting kind of gold and anything that people could spare to aid in that endeavor. Unfortunately, the Gavel's latest ill reputation did make it a little bit harder on that side to get people to believe their efforts were righteous, but he did gather some funds to be put towards that effort. Wisteria spent some time in the bowels of Akara, working with the Ashen to kind of learn a little bit more of how the underworld works, and Kazia learning how some of the criminal networks operate, and just gathering some information on that side and picking up underworld lore. And with that, I don't think we get a chance to do this over the break, but we do still have the overall faction downtime. So is there anything that you all want to do with that? If you don't have anything front of mind, we can move on and kind of get back to that one a little later.
I had posted something the other day about what was it? Trying to get people to attend the fight for peace in support of the gavel and excited to see the gavel fight, and trying to get more of the crowd on our side from the beginning, if that's something that the faction would be able to help out with.
Advertisement!
I think our new bard could help.
Yes. I like that idea. I had honestly, unfortunately, forgotten about the faction downtime. We spent so much time talking about the other ones stuff. Yeah, I forgot about the other ones. But yeah, that actually does sound like a great idea. That sounds like something they could potentially get done.
Like it.
All right. Is that the idea you guys are running with? Anybody else have any other ideas?
We got to get one of them to just become Wisteria's dedicated aerocrafter. Maybe later. That's for later.
Well, me and Tegan had talked about it in the cities on the map, namely Akara, that they're available for purchase. So I'm going to be able to buy plenty enough for the time being, at least during this downtime. I'm going to take care of that now.
Okay, so if you guys do go with this idea, definitely possible. What it will allow you guys to do is if you regular succeed it, you'll get 2 re-rolls of your kind of the entertain the crowd die. If you crit succeed it, you can get 4. Definitely possible if that's the route you guys like to go down with the faction downtime. All right, so what does the faction do? You guys have 3 chances on this one. How do you guys try to get people to attend for the gavels with your current reputation in Ontario?
I actually have something for Mockery that does not involve him talking. He's going to be making posters of the gavels, so those could be spread out. It's been established already. Mockery does like to draw and to write. So just posters with a little bit of information on each of the gavel members. Or if we want to take it a step further, like trading cards of each of the gavel members.
Nice. How's kind of Mockery design in those? Like what does Mockery include with some of those, like a high level?
He'd probably include like. Oh, sorry. What did you say?
What's the look and feel of them, I should say?
He tries to make him look genuinely like very high quality. The art itself is pretty representative of what the person actually looks like, with the only exception probably being Mockery still plays himself up a little bit of how the Etarians view him. So maybe a little bit sharper there, but he'd also include on each card a little fact about each of the gavels that isn't really a secret, but is still something pretty neat. Kind of spurred and inspired by what Wisteria talked about before. He would actually make a separate card for Bear, now that I'm thinking about it. But this would include the active members and the followers. Passionate too.
Oh, followers too. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Give me a performance roll. See how that goes through.
Heck yeah. Luckily, I can actually roll. I'm at my memos, but I got my laptop with me this time around.
Nice.
Oof.
I'm gonna use my hero point immediately today.
Maybe save it. Okay, never mind. You're good. Do what you want. Live your life.
That was a 2. It can only go up from here, except if it's a 1.
It's not true.
Well, luckily it did go up from there on that side. So yeah, you do probably probably have a bit like a writer's or artist block when you get started, but you push past it and do make some pretty impressively designed cards that even though the people at Terria may not be super feeling you guys right now, it does draw a lot of interest. You do see people kind of passing them around and talking about them and kind of generating buzz about the gavels. You guys have one success out of the three.
We don't know who else is participating in the tournament, do we?
Outside of the squad 7, you're not sure at this moment.
Okay.
I think Belric, if it's all right with everyone, I think he would try to maybe buy some goodwill after returning from his hunting and getting some of the toxins. Maybe he had gathered some other things, and maybe he's just like kind of opening like a free, I don't want to say like a medicine clinic, but like, hey, like, let me heal you naturally on behalf of the gavel, right? And just maybe going around and healing some folks' ailments or seeing what he can do, like natural medicine wise.
Oh yeah, so definitely kind of like going around town, kind of just gavel logo, probably like proudly out, just healing the yeah. Give me a nature check. You got natural medicine, right?
I do.
Yeah, give me a nature check. Solid. Yeah, Belric, you're able to kind of go around Akara, healing some of the sick, using some of the poultices and things you found out during your treks with Bear in the wild, to kind of heal some of the people's wounds and injuries and ailments, things that are plaguing them, and definitely kind of talking up the gavels as you go, earning some goodwill. You guys have succeeded so far, so you guys have the 2 successes on this one. If you guys get a crit success on your last one, that'll bump you up to 4. Last, who wants to go with the last one?
I suppose Will should be good at this kind of thing. But what would he do? What could he do to better the reputation of the gavel in this town?
I got something if you can't think of anything.
Go for it.
Do we know if legally or otherwise there's going to be betting going on at this tournament? Is that something that's like promoted by the tournament itself, or maybe something happening on the side, not necessarily officially?
Yeah, definitely. So Kirsir usually doesn't do, he doesn't do official gambling, but usually there's always somebody betting on fights.
Okay. I'll start trying to just use a lot of my new connections with the Yashin and try to like also use some of my accounting skills to work out like different probabilities and try to provide some like strategies to make people seem like, oh, you know, it's going to be a cool fight, but also if they go, they can win a lot of money. And maybe tweaking some numbers to adjust in favor of giving reasons to bet on the gavel. So like posting up, you know, handing out pictures or like flyers and stuff with like the numbers breakdown of like, here's some optimal betting strategies to use and things like that to try to get people, take advantage of people's greedy urges to get more people out there.
All right. Take your choice of deception, or I think you got accounting, Laura. You can do that as well.
Yep.
All right, do accounting.
It's the first time anyone has ever done this.
Yes. Crit success.
I used it once for an earned wealth earlier in the campaign. That was the downtime.
Right.
That was the only time though. But yes.
Solid. Yeah, you're able to go through and show some betting strategies. I mean, they may be a little bit tweaked towards the gavel's favor, but you do get a lot of people interested, like kind of see what type of money they can earn them through the betting at the tournament, and kind of there to go and kind of excited. Hopefully, see the gavels win. Definitely will be cheering for you at the start. If you lose, there may be some boos, but hey, that's a problem for another day. So with that, and the crit success on that one as well. You guys do have 4 re-rolls. Mark that down somewhere. You guys will keep track of that for your kind of your entertain the crowd action during the tournaments.
quickly studying all my proficiencies, like which one of these could I use in a fight to impress a crowd? None of mine are flashy.
Oh,
Guys,
man.
you're crazy. I mean, any of them can be flashy if you make them flashy.
You're right. You're right.
This is the entire reason the gladiator archetype exists. Did not take it. Okay.
I forgot what the gladiators features on that one, but I would definitely give
It's
them on
it's
that
all
one.
about like if people are watching you fight, people who are not in the fight are watching you fight, you get bonuses.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Is it too late to redo my downtime and retrain that?
Will spends a week and out of nowhere becomes a gladiator. Oh. Perfect. Well, you guys are able to spend that week, whether it be spending your time at Akara, the bustling city, or spending your time at the Burning Dragon Monastery, whatever may kind of fit your PC. But after all of that, the week passes and the tournament grounds are open. One thing that will happen before you guys leave the monastery, or at least before Jeet leaves the monastery, Kazu as well as Musin will come and just kind of bid you farewell on that side. So you see Kazu and Melissa out there, and Melissa kind of just walks up and just kind of places like a light hand on your shoulder, and she goes, "You're a flame keeper now, Jeet. Graduate of the Burning Dragon Monastery. I want you to know before I say this last bit that I am proud of you. You passed your trials of flame. You've done your best to right the wrongs within Ateria. I saw you fight for your honor. I've heard tales of what you did against the Arisen. If you stay on those paths, I feel you will do well. Though I am worried. You all don't have very many friends in Ateria. Just be cautious and keep Nara's flame burning bright. If you believe in Nara, put your faith with him. And kind of see her like she's got the shoulder, but she kind of like gives you like a little like a friendly, but definitely like a teacher like poke to your shoulder and goes, and not go back to being afraid of his might. The God will protect you.
Teacher, I thank you for everything you have done, the wisdom that you have passed on to me, and I hope to prove myself worthy of that wisdom. You are correct that you are correct that I have not made a lot of friends in Ateria, even though the opportunities were right there. But still, now that I have Nara's favor, I have yours, Kazuo's blessing, and I have the Burning Dragon Monastery to return to whenever it is that I will next return. I think I can go far, and I think I can do good.
You see her smile, and she says, "The Burning Dragon Monastery will always be a home and sanctuary for you." And she says "you" really hard on that one. She's I guess emphasized for you. She goes, "You always have a place here." And you do see as you kind of start to leave, Kazo like hands you like a little wrapped package, kind of filled with a collection of his food, but definitely some mushi on that side. And he goes like he definitely kind of like throws like a little friendly punch. And definitely goes, "Fun training with you again, buddy." But and you gotta see for once you see the chef's face get a little serious. Just watch out who you got with you. I mean. Yeah, I mean, nothing else on that, but just watch who's with you. Don't let him put your fire out. But yeah. Next time I see you, though, I want to see whatever crazy tricks you pick up on the road.
You got it, Kazuko. Hey, if I win with some sick wrestling move that you've taught me, at the tournament, I'll let them know that it was from you.
You see him smile and go, "Hey, you do that. Stop by for a meal before you leave, because it'll be crazy."
You got it. Thank you. I will now take my leave.
With that, too, you guys are able to regather, and Kosir's agent Arapo, the satyr that's his first reveler, did give you each a coin that will allow you all to kind of teleport from kind of the Burning Dragon Monastery, Akara, over to where the tournament grounds are. Is there anything that you all want to do before you teleport out? Perfect.
Mockery actually has something he wants to say to G.
Okay, yeah.
He'd probably take G to a secluded corner of the monastery, and he'd look somewhat worried and nervous, but with clear his throat.
Ah, my friend, I have a request. It possibly a blasphemous one.
Well, in that case, you should know that I will possibly not be able to fulfill that request. But what is it?
I have been here in the monastery for a while. I'll make clear I have no plans of converting myself. The infernal gods have been good to me. But here, there are many people who are strong. And this faith, this mountain, this volcano, Eteria, it is far more welcoming than my home in Kildinia. If it is ever that I have a son or daughter, I'd ask that they'd be taken in by the Burning Dragon Monastery.
Well, what? Mockery. And then he'll put a hand on Mockery's shoulder. I think we still have a ways to go before you become a parent. Yes.
Oh, I'm aware. Trust me, I am aware. It's just crossed my mind. I've had a lot of things on my mind. Like, for example, where I came from. Honestly, I'm not really sure how any of that works, but
He shrugs.
if it is the case, I do not want whatever lineage I have to continue my worship of the Infernals. I believe in them, truly, I do, but I also know that it's not for everyone.
Oh, you meant blasphemous for you. Okay.
Yes.
So, yes. I do not
In
make
lineage, I am a runt, and I'm afraid they'll be too.
Well, I do not make any promises yet, but should such an event come to pass, then yes, I shall shepherd them over to the monastery. But it is my hope that should you find yourself in a position of such responsibility, that you might yourself be able to arrange a brighter future for them.
Gee, look at me. Can you say that with a straight face again?
I can.
My name is Mockery.
No, that is the name you were given. That is not who you are. Who you are, and he pings on the armor, is who you are making yourself to be. Who you are, like, forging with every action that you take. You are becoming something that is not a mockery. I am hopeful, and some days I am afraid of what it is that you are becoming, but it is not a mockery. You may want to consider other names for yourself.
I thank you, my friend. You have been kind to me, and I've learned much wisdom here in this monastery, and I thank you for that.
I hope you're being awfully formal. I mean, it's just us. Weren't you going to challenge me to a fight?
Soon.
Soon.
But first, we have some dubious jobs to do.
No. I don't know anything about that. I'm just going to a party.
Juice just trying to catch the vibe right now. He's like, you guys do what you got to. I'm talking to people. With that, you guys are able to rejoin the party and get these golden coins handed out by Kosir. And if you look at the coins too, like it's it almost looks like a novelty coin. Like one side's like a Rapo holding a beer, the other side is Kosir holding a bigger beer. It's just like it's one of those ones that if you like kind of funny stuff, you'll look at it and chuckle. It even feels like a little bit kind of a hearty feel comes off of it. It's one of those like being around old friends as you look at it. But as you pick it up, you start to see the magic wave around you. The only thing you see like kind of chugging towards you, like right as you guys are kind of like teleporting out, you do see Olga, the child that you guys saved initially and brought to the monastery. Like, very late, but still waving at you guys as the teleportation magic encircles you and zaps you away, bringing you from the Burning Dragon Monastery all the way pretty much across Eteria to the region kind of between Sona and Recklin. And as the magic dissipates into the spot that should be pretty much just desert oasis, or just pretty much a straight desert abyss. You come in and you do see the deserts around you. You see the sun up high with that just burning kind of Naran weather. And as you look around though, where desert should be, there is civilization. You look and you see this enormous stadium where a couple weeks earlier, there was nothing out here. The stadium stands tall and high, not as large as some of the major coliseums that are around Kazia, but definitely far larger than should be in this middle of nowhere desert. As you look around, it kind of all has like an ethereal feel to it. It's solid, it's there, but is it like I say, really? Is it there? Is it permanently there? It just kind of has this weird feel as you look to it. But as you look around too, you see rows of tents kind of scattered around as people have come to the tournament early. For a multitude of reasons, this is a Kosir affair, and even before the true festivities start, it's almost a party, pretty much from the time people set up until the time it's torn down, and many have come to witness that. As you look around the tents in the area that you came through, you see these are kind of more like the average people's, kind of the layperson's area, but you look and kind of to the back and to the front, and you see areas too where people have brought airships, carriages, just definitely the areas where the wealth may have been driven through, and it kind of brought themselves to attend one of Kosir's tournaments and see kind of what opportunity lies for them there. But you guys have come early for, well, two big reasons. Because there's a soiree being held where all of the competitors for the tournament are allowed to attend if they wish, but definitely where a lot of the wealthy from Codinia and even some of the wealthy from Eteria and other surrounding lands will make themselves known and have a chance to kind of break bread and build connections. But you guys, you're not really there to break bread. You guys have your own reasons there. Will, you've been chosen by Vox Populi to expose the corruption of Lady Malgus from the family that you once fried the brain of their lord, but it was now sponsoring the luminescence against you and sponsoring them in their hunt to bring Will of Rashaniel back to the island off of Lumos, as well as Wisteria, where you were tasked by two different factions, the Mokalin as well as the Library of Noticia, to steal the plans of an airship. this advanced airship that both sides see much potential in, with whether it be from Moklin, the armaments, the capabilities, the gold they can earn from it, or for the Library Notitia, what can be done with the reactor, the arcane battery that is powering it. And with that, too, you guys have a party attend. Lord Corn Axton's party aboard his airship. You guys will get the chance to both infiltrate in and hopefully steal those airship plans. And then for Will, hopefully expose the corruption of Lady Malgus and her family, and hopefully bring the hammer down upon them and get a thorn off of your side. So you guys do have some time on this. So, one last piece, Mockery. Are you team infiltration or team influence?
Listen, Mockery, while he's a diplomat, he actually is expert in stealth. He's team infiltration on this one.
All right.
That's what I was hoping you would say.
Nice. We got a good distribution then.
Sweet. So we've got for team infiltration, Belric is Mockery joining Wisteria on our hunt for the plans. And then we've got Jeet joining Will for the soiree to expose corruption, we'll say. So teams on that side, as I said, you guys will have a chance to prepare. You guys are on the grounds of the tournament. The airship is there. You will have a chance to kind of figure out, for the influencers, who's going to be there, who may have dirt on Lady Malgus. For the infiltration people, you guys will have a chance to see kind of what edges you guys can bring to the exposure. Both of you guys will basically have 2 opportunities you can take. So for team influence, easy. Each of you guys can take an opportunity on that side to find kind of who will be there and maybe some information on who, kind of with these people's thoughts, weaknesses, resistance, all of those are. For team infiltration, you guys will have those chances to earn. You have to partner up with one of you, but to earn 2 edges that you could spend to reverse a failure or critical failure if you do have some trouble within there. Though they are kind of specific to kind of what the edge you're looking to earn are. With that too. Let's get that in there now, just because we'll go over a quick run through of what infiltration and influence are. They should both I names. That makes it harder for some reason. Infiltration. So with that, there's going to be a series of events for both of these. There's going to be 3 rounds, and rounds with this one are don't think like rounds of combat. That's going to be like rounds for infiltration, rounds where different obstacles come up. There's going to be 3 in each round. And then you guys have to kind of go through those. Some of those will be ones you do. All of you will have to make a check against. Some of those will be ones one of you have to make a check against. You guys will have those chances to be able to go through those. And then similar for influence, you'll have kind of 3 rounds as well. But with those, you'll get a chance to pick one of the people you think could have some good information for you and see if you're able to smooth, intimidate, use some of your lures to be able to actually kind of take some information from them and see what they can do, kind of what you can gain from them to expose the Malgus family and their corruption. So with this, Wisteria, there is, I know for infiltration, I think there is for influence officially. If not, we're going to say there is. You can use pretty much a version of follow the expert. So if you want to assist one of your compatriots that will be coming along with you on one of their checks that they're making, you can kind of use that follow the expert, kind of see whatever your expert opinion is, because Wisteria, this isn't your first break-in and robbery. Will, this is not the first time you schmooze people out of information. So you can use those information pieces to kind of help push the party along, because this is Kind of both of you guys' arena a little bit. Wisteria likes to gather the information and resources, even if it's not on the legal means. And Will is good at. I mean, one of Will's core strengths that does not come from Rashaniel is his charming wit and personality. So, with that, are there any questions on how infiltrations or influences run? Really hard with the eyes. It makes it harder with the second one, whatever I say first.
It's I and F. They all have the same start.
Because like I'll remember the first one, whatever way I say it, and I'll like have to pause and pick the second one.
I think I have my head wrapped around it. If I have any questions on the way, I'll ask.
I
Perfect.
think it was pretty straightforward when I looked at it. I'll look at it again.
Influence is pretty straightforward. And one thing I will say for infiltration on that side is you guys will have awareness points that'll kind of go through as people get more aware of you. If you guys hit 20, the jig will be up. And with failures and critical failures, you do earn awareness points on that side.
I do have a question,
Mhm.
sort of outside of the rules of this, but we are all going to be in the same general location, right? Okay. Can we? Is it going to be possible for us to assist the other group with anything that we're doing?
Potentially, but this is kind of, you guys see the airship as well. It's a pretty massive airship. So that first round, yeah, you guys can definitely kind of help each other out. Spread out and kind of things go through, it may be a little bit more difficult.
Oh my goodness. Wait. Are we dividing ourselves into like spellcasters and non-spellcasters? Does anyone have message on the other side?
I didn't realize that. Yeah.
I have message, but
I also have message, but we'll be next to each other, whispering already.
I can send messages to Velnu, but that's about it.
Okay, like
fine, probably.
I have the spell scroll that's like used for infiltration. Infiltration, but you need to be a caster to be able to cast it. Oh wait, that's not it.
Mockery has spells. He can cast. And I'm pretty sure Wisteria can cast as well.
I don't think Wisteria can cast.
I have the highest Arcana score in the party, but no spell.
Oh, I thought you had the Shadowcaster archetype.
No, there's
No,
the Shadowsmith. What was it called?
The relic.
Yeah.
The shadow something relic.
But that's not spell or anything like that.
Dang.
Sweet. So yeah, as you guys said, you guys have two opportunities to prepare, gather information. So actually, I'll pick on Will Wisteria. Which of you guys wants to kind of start this off first? Gathering information, kind of who to expect or what to expect.
Okay, I have an initial question that I think Will would know from the start before gathering any information. Remind me where the Malgus family is from.
They are from the southern tip of Codinia, so they are not the lords of Kodara. The lord of Kodara is Lord Cornaxon, whose airship you're on and who Wisteria is robbing. So
Okay.
he's the Lord of Kodara, but they are vassals to the Lord of Kodara.
Cool.
I think you mentioned this, but I imagine Will came across him as he made his way off Lumox.
Yeah. Figured. Okay, so I have an idea. I have a plan. I want to get in close. I want to become best friends. I want them to like name me as their godfather. I want to become best friends with the servants who are currently serving Lady Malgus. Can I gather information about them or learn who they are? Or like find out who the chef is perhaps or something like that. Somebody who's working for Lady Malgus. I want to learn about them. Is that a possibility?
Definitely. So you kind of want to reach out to some of the lower servants to kind of see a little bit of lay of kind of who's closest or kind of who's kind of the servant that's next to Lady Malgus more often.
Yeah. They will know stuff, and I want to get close to them.
Definitely. So give me a diplomacy check as you try to go through and try to make friends with the servants and kind of gather a little bit of information on kind of who to expect there.
All right. Cool. Is it a secret check?
They can roll up.
Okay. None of them are angels, correct?
No.
I didn't think so.
Nice. Yeah, so you're able to go through and definitely you find some kind of chatty, kind of serving girls, chatty cooks and all of that are going to give you a little bit of a lay of the land. And you kind of see them outside of the airship as they're gathering supplies for this big soiree that Lord Cord Axon is going to be holding. And you do get a kind of a breakdown of the retinue for Lady Malgus. But the one that you hear is closest to her and will be at this soiree is her handmaiden. So her handmaiden, and let me post her in there now.
Write
too.
this down.
Her handmaiden is Essie. She's half elven. She's got like very plain, kind of described with very plain clothes, but definitely almost a surprising beauty, though she does have a very reserved or stoic expression upon her face. But she is kind of described as her handmaiden. She'll be at the soiree. She's usually kind of near or next to Lady Malgus. Is definitely one that is in her confidence. The servant's going to give that to you, and one of the things they'll give to you with that role as well is a little piece on Essie as well. She's very, very religious. She is a follower of the Lightbringer Church. It is definitely very, very devoted to Hikari.
This could not be more perfect for me. Well, it could go poorly, actually, if she knows of exactly who I am and the circumstances of my leaving the country. I'm actually be bad, but we'll see. It's probably fine. It'll be great.
Sweet. So if team infiltration, and actually with that, Will, I do have a question for you though, with that as well. Because with Will, like, I think one of the big skills for Will that doesn't really have any connection to Rashanael or the Celestials or the Divine is kind of his wit. How did his wit and charm? How did Will kind of develop that as he grew up on the luminescent island off of Lumos?
Well, here's the secret. It isn't actually disconnected from it. Well, but it is part of it. Part of what Will was being like, both Will and Blessing were being trained to become priests and priestess, as you know what I'm saying, of the local like city, and like they were being trained to be like high priests and priestesses. So they were being trained as like learning about the religion and learning how to lead a flock and all that stuff, and a little bit of healing magic and all that kind of stuff. So Will was like being taught how to be an orator, how to like grab the attention of a crowd, how to see what people need and all that stuff. So that is part of his like upbringing, was like they were training him to become, you know, a leader of the people. That's the part that he took to very well himself. The actual like studying and like learning all the tenets of Hikari's like stories and like memorizing all of her, you know, saints names and the years they were born and all that stuff. He found that all very boring and didn't like that, but he did take naturally to just being an orator. So yeah, that's how he really refined that. And then the fact that he is supernaturally a pretty boy definitely helps.
Perfect. All right. Wisteria. So Wisteria, what do you do to kind of prepare for this infiltration?
So I imagine a large airship like that has quite a crew to take care of it. So I would like to try to secure some disguises for me, Belric, and Mockery that will make us look like members of the crew of the airship, like the engineers who are there maintaining all of this stuff. Hopefully some of me and Belric's crafting skills will help keep up that illusion. Mockery, do your best. But trying to seem like if we can, the outfits that'll get us into places where maybe just people there for the party wouldn't be able to get into. Like tool belts and like an apron and like, especially if they have any kind of uniform, that would make it even easier. But
Nice. So if you'd like to, you could
I'm
try
really
to...
struggling on how you're gonna make Mockery look.
I mean, he's from Codinia. Maybe they've hired a Knoll to their, and it's a Codinian lord who owns this ship. I don't know how many other Knolls there are around there, but
A big ass
snake tail
knoll
that's a
with
problem.
horns. Ooh. Yeah. Scales, feathers, red fur.
Yeah, the knoll is less the problem and more the all the whole rest of Mockery's deal.
Or the tiefling bit. Yeah, more the-
Sorry, Tegan, could you spell the handmaid's name again for me? Or you not again?
Esie.
E-S-I-E.
Oh, I forgot to post that too. Sweet. So with that, Wisteria, definitely. So how is Wisteria looking to obtain? Are you looking to kind of steal one, steal some of the uniforms? Are you looking to kind of see the design and craft your own? How's Wisteria going about this?
I am very good at thievery if you need help.
let's see. I think she'd try to like spend some time maybe in like the local taverns around this place to try to like spot some people in a uniform or who she thinks fit the kind of role she's looking to imitate, and then use materials to craft her own.
Perfect.
You know,
Good crafting check.
Oh, and probably should have mentioned, would I be able to take advantage of some of my investigator abilities here? So my current lead being to find this blueprint and then adding a pursue lead bonus to this? Or do you think that might come in?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Another time? All right. I'm going to... should I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to hero point that. Much better.
Nice. Yeah, so you're able to go through kind of this is a tournament for Kosir, so there's probably like a tavern every other block of like this tent city that's emerged, and you're able to go through and watch the kind of the people bearing some of the symbols of Codinia. You see a lot of the kind of the soaring blue falcon, and kind of see some of the ones that represent Lord Axum as well, and are able to kind of go through and pattern off a disguise of your own for both yourself, Belric, and Mockery, earning you guys one edge that you can use during. And with the edges, you can kind of bring them in if you critically fail or critically fail one of your checks where the uniform may apply. So it won't be one you could use to unlock a door, but get spotted by some guards or somewhere you're not supposed to be. You can run that through. All right, and with that too, Wisteria. So I think we talked about this last session. Wisteria is probably the wealthiest of the bunch, or what grew up the wealthiest of the bunch. What was like Wisteria's first break-in, and her kind of, let's say, what's her first heist, and why? Like, why did she decide to kind of turn away from her own wealth?
Let's see. I like to think it was something like earlier on in her academic career, there was some project where, you know, everybody in the class had to do a different presentation. Let's say this was her magic class. So she like found some ancient runes that she wrote a whole paper on about, you know, they're not super practical, but still very interesting and have a lot of historical background. But there was another student in the class who had a very different but very interesting presentation, maybe about a new simple cantrip they invented. Nothing flashy for battle, but something useful for like common folk. And she was very interested in like what this student's process was to create this cantrip. And they're like, oh yeah, and I've also started making spell scrolls detailing it to sell. And so, I mean, she still, aced the presentation, but afterwards is just very fascinated by this, and so broke into that person's home to steal their homework, even though she didn't need it, because she was just curious about their notes and their procedure and the experiments to create this new cantrip. And yeah, so she stole someone else's homework, basically. And that's probably where she first started getting into that, realizing like, oh, there's all this information that people are keeping hidden, and just with a little bit of some unusual skills, I can get that information for myself.
Nice. So as you kind of go through there and first break it, you can see exactly just the knowledge behind one of your fellow students there, getting prepared for this new heist with a little bit higher stakes. So each of you guys, you still have for your the other teams on infiltration and influence. Is there any information that you guys want to gather so far? For Will, you know that one of the major players, or one of the people that are closest to Lady Malgus, is the Handmaiden, but there are others that will be at the soiree. They kind of get a little bit of a high-level overview, if you'd like. And for infiltration, you guys have one more chance to grab an edge before this all begins.
Got any ideas? Any extra things you got on your mind, Jeet? Because I'm developing a plan. It's coming together in my mind, but I wanted to make sure that I'm not just doing this whole thing by myself. If you have something on your mind, let me know.
Nothing really. I was hoping to be the one who observes and watch, sense how people react to the things you say, and just whisper quietly in your ear, sort of like part bodyguard, part advisor. I don't. You think I can pass for like a wise advisor kind of person role?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
you are.
yeah.
Nobody looks more like a wise advisor among us than you.
Excellent. Great. Yes. So that is all I had on my side. What was your plan?
I'll describe to you the plan as soon as we get in there. But as far as this thing that we're doing as part of the rolls that we have to do, the dice that we have to roll before we go into dangerous situations.
Life does feel like a game of chance sometimes.
Will starts talking about the game mechanics. I don't actually know a whole lot if this will actually end up being helpful for us, but can I find out about... Oh, you know what? Can I learn about the schedule for this evening? That might be helpful to know.
No role on that side necessary. They will definitely kind of promote that. Basically, because you guys are tournament participants, you were invited up on board, which is how you guys will be able to make your way into the airship across both teams. They're starting it off with a little bit of like a happy hour piece, which will be round one, with people kind of walking around and chit-chatting. There will be the liftoff, which would be kind of a little as they bring the airship into the sky, which would be this little pomp and pageantry thing, which would be kind of round two as you get to see the airship light off and get to find somebody else to see what information you could pump from them. And then round three, Lord Axum will kind of have like a bit of a dinner as well. So it's going to be a formal dinner where you better sit next to one of the other contacts and gain them information, and hopefully the infiltration team won't be too far behind.
So, okay, so question to you, Will, from Jeet. He will ask, so who are the major players here? You mentioned the lady, Malgus?
Yeah, Lady Malgus, yes.
Malgus, yes.
I would know, what are they involved, like what's the Malgus family do? You know what I mean? Like, what are they involved in? How do they get their wealth? Is that something I would know?
Yeah, a bit of it. So that's definitely. So you could use one of your last bit, because you know that they're landed aristocrats. So they've got land. They do have a title as well. So they're they used to be a lord. Now they're just after the guy has brain damage, the lady is in charge. but you're not exactly sure exactly where they get their wealth from. You could definitely kind of look that up, or kind of see the other key players as well. So kind of what you're thinking there.
No, it's just idle curiosity. Well, they have various, people working for them, a whole retinue of servants or whatnot. But I think the key person that we need to speak to is Lady Malgus's handmaiden, Essie. From what I hear, she is actually a follower of Hikari, which I give it a 70% chance that is a great boon to us. It's also a 30% chance that she hates me for running away, but we'll see. And actually, that's what the part of the plan that I'd like your help with. I am going to be sort of. I suspect that Lady Malgus will want nothing to do with me. Maybe. So I want to get both of their attention, and I want you in particular to watch for the reaction of Essie. And I point her out. I don't know. I imagine we see her across like a crowd or something doing preparations or something. I like her. When she and Lady Malgus see me, I want to know what her reaction is to me, to know what I'm getting myself into.
Definitely. One thing I will call out is Essie won't have all the information. So there will be multiple people you have to schmooze with to get the information out.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm asking Will, which might be indirectly just asking Tegan. So I suppose there are two kinds of people we need access to: people who are close enough to the family who might know things, and then people who are, rivals, I suppose. If she has rivals who might also have dug up information on her. Yes.
That actually, I had completely forgotten that angle of things. That is an absolutely great idea. So why don't we use our second slow? That was interesting. How I very smoothly came out of Will's voice, and I'm not even sure where the transition happened. Can we use the second one of our things to find out who hates Lady Malgus? Like who really wants to see her taken down at this party? If there's anyone like that.
Yeah, definitely. Give me a society check.
Cool. I'm so glad that I took this as a proficiency because I almost didn't. I thought about it for a really long time.
Perfect. Are you letting that stand?
Yeah, I'm gonna need the hero points, I think. So I will save it.
Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to parse through the Canadian politics and find exactly who will be there that doesn't like Lady Malgus. You do hear a little bit of information about her. She's known to be... Baron Malgus was kind of it's a nice way to put it. He was kind of a lazy dude who didn't really do shit, but he was there. His sister, though, his sister is talented. His sister is ambitious, talented, and since you've put him in a coma, the Malgus family stock has went up considerably, definitely upsetting people in Codinia that liked him being lazy and at the bottom.
Okay, so we'll have to devote some time during the party to figure out who's against him. But I like that idea. That's another angle we can take.
Perfect. Infiltration crew. Last bit of preparation. What do you guys want to do to earn an edge? You've got some uniforms now that you can throw on after you kind of find some time. What else do you want to do?
I have a plan. Moffrey wants to run the infiltration crew through some drills, basically seeing how we work together when sneaking, when trying to stay stealthy, how we work as a team. Even though the Gavel's definitely been through things in a hostile combat scenario, this is a little bit of newer territory. The dwarf, Nolan, and orc of the team being the stealthy party.
Yeah, wild.
So he wants to basically run them through what he knows about trying to, keep unnoticed, both from his experiences from his past and his training from being a Hell Knight.
So fortunately, this won't be Hell Knight training that'll work for, but you can definitely make a stealth check to see if you can kind of teach or impart some teamwork on this side, sneaking through, which could help you if you succeed in a section where you may be spotted or poor teamwork and keeping hidden may throw off the group.
Absolutely. 21.
Solid.
Armor check. Take that armor off. Can you take the armor off for this?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Mockery wouldn't. I do want to specify. Mockery will not be wearing his armor through this party.
He's in his disguise.
In part because of the
Silly
disguise. Yeah.
Well, you guys will be able to put the
But those-
disguise on, but you will have to go as yourselves initially to get on board. But yeah, so with that, you definitely you don't have to wear your armor. I know some people do think their armor is more of like the. It kind of depends on how you guys do your armor. Which when we get to the party section, I'll ask: is your armor kind of like an extension of how you like to appear, even fancy wise, or do you go fancy clothes? Do you shine up your armor? So think about that on the way. But yeah, you are able to kind of assess, help drill some. Just some stealth drills in there that'll give you guys a little bit of an edge in case poor teamwork or poor hiding will let you notice. So that gives you a second edge point that you can bring into this situation. Perfect. So what we are going to do, let's take a quick break first. But what we do next after that is we are going to have you guys head to the party. Where you guys will begin your infiltrations, begin your influence campaign, seeing if you can find the dirt, find the aircraft plans, and we'll see how that all plays out. So yeah, let's take a quick 5-minute break, come back 8:43, and get back into it. Welcome back, everyone, to part 2 of session 19 as this crew prepares for their heist influence campaign. As they've been invited to Lord Corin Axum, with the Lord, one of the high-profile Cadinian Lord's airships for soiree to interact with some of the nobles of Kazia, but also to rob Lord Corin Axum and expose one of his baronmen, Lady Malgus. With that, you guys are able to spend some time and kind of you spend some time and gather some information. But if there's any like appearance-wise preparations, you guys have time to clean, probably spruce yourselves up a little bit more than you usually do. And I will pick on you guys as we get into the party to see what, if any, differences there are to your character's usual appearance in kind of a high society soiree. But as you all make your way kind of the tent cities down to the airships, you see one airship that pretty much stands out from the others. It's the largest of the airships there. And airships, they're not common for Kazia, but if you are a high-profile lord, if you are lord or ruler of one of the major cities that are on the map, you will most likely have some type of airship, depending on where you're from. Some of the there's not going to be one from Aurea, but from all the other places, you'll most likely have at least one airship or maybe even a couple in your fleet. But you see this just large, impressive airship is styled out in kind of the blues of Codinia. Codinia really likes to riff with the blues, but you do see it as the blue blue and purple of the Corin Axum's family, kind of just decorated out. And this thing is massive, and you see a large line of people making their way out there, all kind of dressed to the nines, whether it be for some of the more aristocratic people dressed in fine robes, gold and silver, platinum chains, and kind of baubles and rings decorated out. Definitely people trying to dressing to show out. You do see some that are more kind of the militaristic nobility, some of the knights, especially for Codinia, decked out in their sapphire and silver armor. Many kind of bearing the falcon of Codinia upon it proudly. And you even see some others as well. A lot of kind of the Phaeacian lords and some of their aristocrats, though they're far less than most of the other nations. They're less than their usual in this type of event. And you see they're all kind of dressed well, making their way towards this airship, which you just see is massive. And then kind of on the top of it, you see it looks like all the people are kind of congregating on the top of the airship, which is like this little almost like a deck of a ship, kind of open to the elements. And you see lights, people, food, dining, all of that. But before you can get in there, you do have to get past the guards, and you do see there are guards kind of wearing Lord Corin's symbol, just kind of like stopping the people as they come aboard. For some, taking invitations. For others, they recognize. But as you guys do make your way up there, they do kind of hold their hand out. You see one of the guards, this older man, probably not even old. He's like late 40s, definitely still muscular and within his armor. He looks at you guys, goes, "Were you invited? State your business here."
We certainly were invited. I imagine they gave us. Sorry, what was the thing that was to indicate we were invited to this party? Do we present the coin?
You can definitely present the coin. Basically, you being invited is you being one of the participants in the tournament.
Right.
So this would be something that's typically reserved to like kind of the higher society, but people like seeing athletes, and you guys are competing in the Coliseum fights, so kind of the athletes of the time. People.
Right. Okay, I was just wondering if they had given us like a piece of paper signifying that or something like that. If not, we'd just be like, we are participants in the tournament tomorrow.
You see the nod go, oh, okay, what's your banner? Who are you fighting under?
Don't we have a patch? Don't we have a symbol? Where's Beshnet with our banner?
For real.
Fortunately, Best and the other followers weren't invited to this one.
Yeah. We are.
They're having their own party, a better party.
Less stressful party, we'll say.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and another question: is the infiltration team attending the party like officially, like, or are you going to be like sneaking in some other way?
They could try to sneak in some other way. Probably the easiest method would be they are invited as well. And
yeah, I guess it's not really any reason to. Well, we are the Gavel of Viva Sera, and then I don't know. We do a dramatic pose where we all with the camera pans across all of us.
You see the guard kind of nod, kind of look towards his list and go, oh, wait, you guys are on here. Looks like the same symbol. Well, welcome to Lord Corin's soiree. He asks that all surrender weapons, and for those who are gifted in the arcane and magical arts, refrain from casting. But he invites you under his hospitality and protection, and you can be sure that no one will trifle with the Lord while you are under his roof. Eat, drink, and be welcome here.
Mm-hmm. Would it be weird would a staff be the kind of thing they're going to be taking away from me on the way in?
If it's your magic staff, they definitely would.
That's where my charm spell is. Dang it. Oh, no. It's fine. I'll live without it.
Jeevan's completely fine, like surrendering all his weapons. All I need are my muscles. But before we go in, since we probably knew that there wouldn't be any spell casting inside, I would have cast this on Wisteria at possibly the start of the day, or at the very least, like right when we were approaching, just to make sure.
Sweet. So what do you get? Oh, status?
Yeah, status.
Ooh.
Sweet. And Gene, I'll pick on you first. So, how did Jeet dress up for this occasion?
Yeah. So the previous day, he polished his armor, and then he cast Restyle on it. So instead of openly showing the symbol of Nar, which he's not sure, especially if we want Will to get in good with a worshiper of Hikari. Maybe I don't openly show it, but instead the armor changes to the colors of Nar. So it's like you kind of get it, but it's not just in your face. Otherwise, yeah, polished armor and just a proper like bath the night before. That's it. Yeah, no weapons, no staff, no shield.
And Will, how are you dressed? And with what being how you were dressed too, is after leaving Lil Mox, is attending like things like this, did Will make it a point to attend kind of like get together soirees, things like this, or was he more solitary before joining the Gavels?
He was. Okay, well, it's funny because the answer is yes to both of those. He sort of traveled on his own, but he has very much enjoyed these kinds of things as he was traveling northward. So anytime he got a chance to sort of talk his way into some event like this, he has absolutely taken every opportunity he could because he just enjoys this kind of event. As far as his look, I am fortunate in that I already, from like a long time ago, established that Will bought a set of fancy clothing. I paid money for it and everything. It's in my dang inventory. So he already has a sort of iconic nobility looking look, but he would just have definitely spent as much time as possible making sure that it looks properly maintained for this event. He definitely would have shined his shoes. He would have made sure there's nothing messed up in any of the seams or anything like that. So he mostly has, maintained his iconic look because, there are some people who would know him by this look, and that he hopes to use for our benefit if possible. If not, some people hate us, but hey, that can also be useful sometimes.
All right. Wisteria, I'm going to pick on you next. It's a similar question, but kind of different on this because Wisteria, you probably grew up with events like this. Is this something that Wisteria enjoys? And then how does she look with this event? Even though she won't be in the limelight or in people's view, I should say, for much of it.
Well, so first I wanted to ask. So she has a spacious pouch. Is that something they would confiscate or prevent from bringing in? Because if she thinks she can just put her weapons and maybe other people's weapons in that pouch to bring in, she'll certainly try to sneak that in that way.
If you can hide it and bring it in, you can definitely get it in.
Yeah. So the spacious pouch is like the bag of holding, where it's like.
Oh yeah, I mean, they were very like if you saw Will go through, they were very aware his staff was magical. Okay. So you could definitely try to see if you can conceal it, but it'll have a consequence if you fail.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think because it would be like a thievery check to try to keep it hidden or something like that. Yeah, I'd go for that.
Definitely be
and just to let's see. I mean, she would. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. More importantly, this is where she keeps all of her books and notes, and she will not part with those.
Also, while he's rolling that die, I forgot I didn't actually describe the way he looks. So just very quickly, Will has his black duster, a gold vest, and a set of white pants and boots, and everything has sort of gold. What's the word? Filigree on it to make his golden eyes and hair and the whole self pop out. His skin, of course, as always, looks like goldstone.
All right. I'm going to hero point that. Not better.
Yeah, so you like Will, you get passed through. G, you pass through. Wisteria, you pass through. You do see kind of a rune light up. You heard the guard kind of like hard, like puts his hand on your shoulder pretty hard. He goes, "Halt!" Like he says it like I didn't say it right. He goes, "Halt!" like really loud. And you see like people like kind of like leaning from the line, looking up. You see people that are already in there looking back. People are like, they can see like people whispering like, "Oh, who are they? What are they doing? Why is the guard stopping them like this?" I like just talking mad shit about you guys right now as they see you get halted and have to bring. And he goes, "Contraband like that is not allowed within. We can hold it for you, or you can leave."
This is all of my books and my notes. I'd like to share this information with people. I guess you can, and she seems like very nervous and not sure what to do, I guess. But it's and it's just the five of us, right? None of our followers or
That's yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'll leave it with you. And she'll hand the pouch over.
Mockery would hold up a hand for just a moment.
I can have Hyena run it back for you.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Yes, thank you so much, Mockery. And she hands it over and seems very relieved. Sorry, it's just there's so
Mockery
many
would.
people here. I must have
Yep,
forgotten
Mockery
it when
would
I was
summon.
packing my things away.
Mockery would summon up Hyena and have him take it back to the followers.
Perfect.
Will's
That's-
doing hello. Oh, I'm terribly sorry about that. My friend must just have forgotten to take that off of a person. She has it on her so much she probably doesn't even notice she's carrying it most of the time. It's just a simple mistake. He's doing the whole like, just a mistake. No worries. Everybody stop looking at us.
You kind of hear like a whisper. Yeah, they're those gavels. But you are
It's
able
them.
able to the hyena is able to pop out of the I forgot the spell. I just called the Pokeball and pet cache. There we go. And gather the equipment and bring it back to the followers. People are kind of like looking at you guys in that kind of awkward situation, like it's your credit card not working situation. People just really kind of judging you on it. Unfortunately, you will earn some awareness points on this one. So you do earn one awareness point as that all goes through. And definitely society is watching you guys for the other ones as this goes in. But before we move on too far, Belric, pick on you next. Does Belric do anything on this one? I'm kind of curious which way Belric goes.
No, I mean Belric would. I think he would kind of follow. I mean, yeah, he's more of a follower in this case.
Oh, I meant like clothing wise. Does he dress up at all?
Yeah.
Quick.
I think the most noticeable thing is like having had his beard frozen and shattered in a past battle. That would probably be the biggest thing. Is like he was very burly and unkempt before, and it's like very. I mean, that was a point of pride for him and his clan, but he trimmed it down quite a bit, and he's like got his hair tucked back. He made a noticeable effort, but it wasn't a good one. Like this is not. He's totally out of like he smells of like nature, and he's got tattered clothes on, but he like put like some terrible body spray over himself. But he's making a legit effort, and at the very least, like again, the most noticeable thing is his beard and like his hair are a little bit more kempt than they usually are.
It's one of those like all the gavels could tell that like Belric went all out for this. Like nobody else would notice it.
Yeah, exactly. Like just oversized, yeah. It's like that kid at prom the first time you see like I feel.
I didn't do a Wisteria's outfit.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So she's wearing a long, like kind of dark purple dress with somewhat like floor length with sparkly silver heels underneath that kind of flash a bit as she walks around. She, despite her book and most of her notes being taken away, she still has two other books like on kind of like a belt on her hip and with ink and pen there ready to keep writing. None of that's magical though, so it would get in. And then she has her hair up in like a very complex braid where it's like multiple different braids and one of them kind of wraps around the rest to hold it all in place. And she has a special set of green makeup that she pulls out for occasions like this that matches her skin tone. That's typically hard to come by. And I mean, all the outfits, like it seems like she's worn this kind of outfit a few times before and been to events like this, but she still seems very out of her element, very kind of nervous about the big crowds and all the conversation and people giving side eyes, especially after the event that happened just now. And I mean, this whole time talking about the heist, she's going leading up to this. She's been very excited and like looking forward to it and giving kind of stories to the gavel about her previous heists. But in this like party setting, a lot of that confidence is not there.
Definitely. All right, last
and
night. Oh,
Elric
is
looks
there-
Elric looks even more ridiculous behind like this beautiful dress and like fantastic makeup, and he's just like, oh no.
I find Belric and Mockery are bringing up the rear of that side. Mockery, how does Mockery dress up?
I'm not to subvert your expectation because he is dressed up.
Oh.
Don't forget, Mockery, he worked in a gambling hall that doubled as a church for a long time. He, the night before, would have gotten his old uniform for the Church Makesh refitted to his now larger size, and he'd be wearing it. It wouldn't truly... It's kind of fancy, but not truly fine clothes. It's almost working class. And he would have, slightly over the top of it, a cloak that's only really worn by the sleeves, that drapes over his arms and his back, but not much else. And I'll even turn it to you, Tegan. What do the followers of Makesh normally wear for their gambling halls?
So one of the big things now that kind of puts Makesh versus Corinius, because they're both kind of like, Makesh is god of greed and despair. Corinius is kind of the god of commerce. Makesh's are like gaudy a bit. Like it's definitely kind of a new money feel. They wear a lot of gold, whether it be like real gold, fake gold, gold coloring. There's a lot of gold, a lot of it bright. So definitely they probably have like golden kind of your robe, maybe golden etchings on the clothes, and not like kind of like the subtle like it's gold, but it's there. It's like the bright, like just ridiculously shined up in your face type gold.
All right. And to play on kind of the color scheme Mockery usually has for his like normal civilian clothes, there'd also be hints of green thrown in here and there to it. In addition, Mockery would also be wearing makeup, as established before. He does do that, and he would have himself looking fine. And probably to his dismay, he would be wearing his glasses to this as well, wanting to seem a little bit more refined. And also, he definitely needs them for this heist. He knows how he is without them for heists. He would not be wearing on.
Have we seen his glasses before?
He wore them once before. When was it?
Once when he was horseback riding because he couldn't see in front of him.
Yeah.
He would not have his armor. He wouldn't have even brought his weapons. Probably a surprise to Beshnit. He trusted Beshnit with them. And, like, those are really big religious objects to Mockery. His damn sword's named the Promise, and the other one is Hellplate. So he's coming in. No armor, no weapons, fancied up. Actually, this just came to mind. There's probably a bow on his snake tail.
Oh, kind of like the Wizard of Oz with the lion. I feel that's what I'm imagining in my head right now. But sweet,
yes.
You guys are able to get past the security. The kerfuffle dies down a little bit after the incident there, and you guys are able to make your way kind of up to kind of like this deck area on this airship. It's lavish. There's drinks. There's people. There's correspondence. There's like everything. It's definitely a lot of people talking and like theatrics on that side. There's like a juggler maneuvering around. This guy doing kind of like close up, like mixture between like mundane magical tricks and real magical tricks, like kind of tricking you with the mundane ones before busting out some fun party tricks on the magic side. Fire eaters, all of that. Like it's a big event designed to be fun. With this, round one for both of you guys will be kind of together because you guys are aboard on that side. So this is the round you could kind of assist and help each other out. Let me do influence teams first for kind of what you guys see, and then infiltration team, you guys can kind of decide if you want to do anything to help or if you want to just bug out or vice versa. Because the infiltration team, you guys will see some things, but influence is going to be a few things you guys see. So you guys look around, and you do see kind of just a crowd of people, but you're able to kind of pick out some of the people with your research, kind of who may matter a little bit more. You do see Lady Malgus, and she look. Let me post her in. Lady Malgus, she's like middle aged, like you'd guess looking at her. She's got elven blood, so it's kind of hard to tell how old she is really. But she definitely, like, if you were comparing her to a human, she looks like in her 50s or so. There are streaks of gray in her hair. She's got kind of brown skin, even with kind of the somewhat not elderly, but the older appearance, still very kind of an air of nobility and attractiveness around her, but definitely a keen eye and a stern face. And you see the stern face probably first of all, because right now she's talking to Lord Corn, and it's like an argument with your superior, where you're pissed, but you've got to like look still respectful about it. You could tell like there's fire in her eyes. She is gesturing, but like kind of the point that's still respectful, but definitely kind of gesturing quickly. You do see Lord Corn, and he's smiling. He has a drink in his hand. He doesn't seem to be really taking it very seriously. I do see he as well. Where she has like elven blood, he is full elf. He is kind of a fair skin, gray hair, and he seems very amused throughout all of this. You also see, as you look around, a couple of Lady Maldus's kind of retinue. You see Essie as well, even for this fanciful occasion, wearing kind of these plain, almost homespun white robes. She seems to be kind of hanging back a decent distance from Lady Malgus, kind of a respectable distance where she couldn't really hear it if she wasn't trying. You also see kind of near the refreshments, definitely kind of near the bar cart, you see her captain, Lady Malgus's captain of the guard, Lee Ren, this muscle-bound man with this ornate blue and gold armor in the style of House Malgus. He's got like a big cup of ale in his hand, and he is like gesturing wildly, talking to this group of soldiers around him. Like almost looks like he's like gotten some of the guards that are supposed to be on duty, and he is just regaling them with some tale while they've got other things they should probably be doing. You see two other people as well. We'll go through those real quick before we get back to the infiltration team. You see a gnome in blue and gold robes as well, kind of the colors of House Malgus. He's got these glasses pushed way up on his nose. He is like reading a book in the midst of all this. He's probably like he's in his little corner, book to his nose in a book. Got a small plate of hors d'oeuvres next to him on this like little high-rise table, but not really socializing with the group. You also find a younger man who looks very similar to Lady Malgus. You'd recognize him, like they're definitely family. He's got an ostentatious blue and gold like duvet, or not duvet, like cloak on, along with just kind of just really like it's pricey homespun silk or spun silk. Dressed to the nines, and he has a crowd of people around him kind of laughing as he's like gesturing and speaking, definitely kind of talking away. I'll post some of their pictures in there, and you guys gotta think what you want to do there next and more information on that as well. But infiltration crew, you guys are on board the airship now. You see this party is bustling. The biggest, kind of the first round of challenges for you guys is finding a way to get deeper into the airship and away from this party without drawing undue attention. So I'll kind of see when we decide who wants to go first, and that's kind of how we'll do. We'll kind of switch between both crews on this side, see who wants to take what first, bouncing back each round. But yeah, you guys see this expansive airship. It need to kind of find a way down, and need to find a way down without kind of dropping the hammer on you and earning more awareness points. So who wants to go first, and who wants a little bit more information?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is causing a distraction going to increase their awareness points?
It depends how you cause that distraction.
I see. Got it.
You could definitely, if something discreet, you could get away with it. But if you make yourself the distraction, I should say, that could break some awareness points.
I have an idea
Hmm.
that I would have discussed with Jeet. I want to enter the room with my golden halo up, like casting light on myself, essentially, just to make the most bombastic entrance. I will tone it down later, but I want to make a huge bombastic entrance, like as we walk in. So I want to cast light on myself as we walk in, and I would have asked Jeet to watch to see if Lady Malgus and her handmaiden notice us and like gauge their reactions, because I don't want to be like looking at them directly. I want to make it like if they're going to be looking, they're going to be looking at me, so it's going to be obvious I'm watching them. So I wanted to ask Jeet to like gauge their reaction as I walk in, looking like a dang, like it would attract attention to the whole group. You know, we're the gavel. We're trying to be like, yes, we have arrived. We're the greatest warriors. So I'm just like putting on a big show as we come in.
So just as we are going from the lobby or like vestibule into the main hall, and you start casting it, Jeet will say, "You're okay if they frown at you, right? Because they said no spells. A little bit of attention is all right."
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Like, would casting an obviously harmless spell like light be?
It would be. So there is a way to still cast. So I put that in the rules earlier. You could still cast. You just have to utilize. So you're a divine caster. So religion, you just have to beat a DC 20 check. If you have subtle for whatever spell you're trying to cast, -2 or +2 bonus.
Right. Okay. So
I have a question.
The whole
on that.
point of this is that I'm obviously doing magic. So I guess never mind then.
With that right there, that spell comes from Jeet's race, correct? The Nephilim?
For Will. Is it a
Yes,
spell or
yes.
is it for your...
Sorry, Will's race. Sorry, I didn't mean to get people confused.
Yeah.
Would that truly count as like a magic spell, or is that something that comes from the race?
That one actually
spell
does
or is
not
it a
come.
feature?
It does not come from my ancestry. It is a
Oh, I
spell
thought you took
chose.
Halo.
No. I've been just describing the light spell as being a halo. I didn't know there was a halo spell. I might have taken that instead, but here we
There's
are
like
with
a Halo
light.
feature. Yeah, there's a...
Yeah, it's a Nephilim thing. The Halo ancestry feat, where you cast light on yourself, and it's a Halo.
Oh, cool.
Ah.
I did
not
something.
pick that one.
There's something similar for Ifrit as well. You're just constantly glowing, but I did not pick it.
Okay, so the whole point is that it is it would have been attracting attention. It would have been obvious that I was doing some kind of magic.
Yeah.
But if I would know that that's going to be bad, like even
Like-
a harmless spell like light would be considered bad form, then I would not have done that anyway.
You could definitely try to do and gather attention, but it's one of those ones that people don't want to take the time to identify if you're casting. It's like, is he doing light or fireball? Who knows?
Hold on. We can do this. Don't worry. We can do this. Do you have 6 gold pieces on you?
I do.
All right. Cough it up, because on the previous day, we would have arranged an artificial halo with Jeet casting Everlight.
What's that?
It's just what do you call it? Continual flame from the previous version. And then we can make a circlet for you to place on your head if you want to.
Sure, that sounds cool. and then that would allow me to just take it off whenever I don't want to be glowing anymore.
Nice.
Sure, you know what? 6 gold. Sure, why not? I don't need my gold that badly, and I've got plenty.
All right. So, G, who are you watching for this reaction? Are you watching EC or SE? I'm sorry, or Lady Malgus?
Lady
Corn?
Malgus. Yeah, she's standing next to Corn, so like both of them. Primarily Malgus.
All right. So give me a discover check. We'll focus it on Malgus. That'll be a perception check.
Come on. Oh, okay. Yes.
Nice. Yeah, you take a look at her. One thing I'll give you for free before I give you what the questions are for discover. Yeah, she is definitely watching Will. You see her spit. Like she's a lady on like her liege lord's ship. She like, spits, and you see the Corn smile fades for a second before she kind of like takes a step back. But she looks furious. Not only that Will's there, you can definitely gotta tell that's what the discussion was about. But he's there and like ostentatiously there. Yeah, you get one question on this side, so you could ask her kind of ask about one of her biases, weaknesses, resistances, history. What would you like to know about her? Lowest DC.
Yeah, let's start with the lowest DC to influence her with.
Yeah, lowest DC for her is society. She's a climber. So people that have plans know the history, know how to use the history, can gain favor, but you definitely see that she's probably not a fan of the gavels, with Will being a part of the gavels, with how angry enough to spit on her lord's deck and cause some embarrassment for herself there.
All right, and then mentally he's marking Corn as the person to talk to. How is the spelling of?
So it is Corrin, and Axon is his last name. So he's the one whose airship this is, and he is her lead lord. Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect. So yeah, you guys get that interest in on that side. We'll pass over to to infiltration team with Belric getting himself a drink. Yeah, so there's some like it's an array of liquor. It's one of those ones like this. He's an old rich elf that's been a nobility his whole life. He's got drinks from all over. So you can definitely find some potent stuff, whether it be from kind of like the elvish kind of wine. You got the Scenaria and Lumox are definitely known for their wine. Codinia has a good wine areas as well, or you can get a high potent liquor or beer. Kind of what's Belric picking up as he goes through?
Yeah, I mean, Belric he's usually a fan of stouts, but he's gonna buy like a potent liquor, 151, maybe something that's flammable. But he won't ask that to the bartender.
Okay.
That would be.
Give me your most flammable beverage.
Yeah, that might not be great, but
they see you prop up. You're a dwarf, and the dwarfs they like to. They're resistant, or some of them could be resistant or have a protection against poison, I should say, for Pathfinder. So they've got some pretty potent brews. Like you can definitely get like a scotch there that's could be used to cause a distraction or cause a fire.
Yeah, and I mean that's one of my thoughts. I'll order that and then I'll kind of hand it over to you, Wisteria, because this is your thing. But that was my thought was, hey, I could go in the corner with I got flint and tinder or flint and steel, boom, fire, and we can make our way over. But I digress. I have my booze. I'll drink it or I'll light it on fire, whatever you want.
Yeah, I suppose the first order of business should be finding a way to change into the outfits that I acquired. So we'll need to either find a corner or maybe a bathroom or someplace where we can do that without being spotted. But if we need to, a small distraction might help with that. Sorry, I feel like I've screwed this up already.
Mockery will place a hand on Wisteria's shoulder.
We had previously talked about faith not too long ago. This, where you feel as though you are faltering, is a place where it can stand strong. It need not be just faith in the god. It could be a person, a place, a goal. When you are not confident, use that conviction that is so strong. Use that to propel yourself forward.
She stands up a little bit straighter and says, "No, you're right. No, it's been a while, but this is what I'm good at, and we trained yesterday. The two of you are just as good as me at it as well. So we got this. We're not going to miss this opportunity. And I mean, no Tisha wants this. She is probably watching in a way. I don't really, deeply understand what knowledge the gods have of what's going on in the world, but she wants us to succeed, and maybe that'll give us the little edge that we need.
What I will say now may be considered blasphemous for some, but for you, starting out, perhaps before the gods, know that us, the Gavos, that I and Beric, we have faith in you.
Hi.
Thank you. That helps a lot. And to say, you look good, by the way. That outfit is really fetching. You've given Will a run for his money with all that gold.
Thank you.
Sweet. So you guys, you could definitely kind of find a spot to sneak away and change your clothing if you'd like to. The biggest piece is kind of finding a way to get deeper into the airship. Right now, the bathrooms, all of the kind of the guest areas are on this kind of the deck of the ship, but the vault, everything is deeper. Finding your way down will definitely be the group's first challenge or obstacle on that side. This is a group one, so you guys just need. This is just one infiltration point to succeed, but you guys got to find a way to, or kind of find your way into the airship. Kind of finding a path that you could take. It's like going through that path. Yeah, it's just kind of finding which way you would enter into the airship.
Can I'm the best in the party at seeking. I feel like that might be an advantageous thing, maybe to seek a entrance that I would see people. I would assume like what we're looking for here, Syria, maybe help me out, would be like guards or people that are just dressed in like waiters, waitresses. Like that's probably the route that we want to go to infiltrate further in. Or should we? Does someone need to check more? I don't know. That was my thought. Is like figure out where the most traffic's happening, and then maybe that would be what I would seek. I don't know. I've never seeked. I'm just good at it.
You could definitely take a look, kind of see where the most traffic is heading through from the kind of the servers and maintenance staff of the airship. You could take a look and see kind of what other paths there may be to get below. Because remember, your outfits are kind of one edge. So when you do play them on that crit failure or crit failure, they won't really have too much relevancy there. But how do you guys want to make your way in? So it could be through the service entrance. If you guys want to get daring, you could try to climb through. This is just really kind of finding what path that you want to take to get inside.
Mysteria, is there something you want me to seek out? I think that should be the good.
I mean, I think what we should try to do is figure out where the main working areas of the engineers and other kind of workers whose uniforms I copied are, because that's where we'll blend in the most. And then from there, there should be a lot of like connection points to other parts of the ship, so we can start scouting out where the vault might be. So yeah, I guess if we see anyone who's wearing uniforms matching the ones that we have on now, following them and acting like we're, have a job to do and walking with a purpose, I think
Could
would
we
be.
seeking high traffic areas of people wearing the same outfits as ours.
Okay. So yeah, the first one, give me a perception check. Whoever would like to make that, that's your first obstacle on this side, to see if you can kind of look around and spot kind of the best path that you can take. You guys are above kind of with the serving area right now, the deck area. So let's see what you find.
All right. I think I got the roll here. I'm rolling the seek one. Is that all right, or do I need to do perception?
They should be the same either way. It's sequel, just roll perception.
Okay, I didn't see what I got, but
Solid.
Okay.
Yeah. So you will actually crit succeed on that one. I don't know if I can make it available as well.
Thank you, Lord.
But you look through. There's definitely not a lot of maintenance staff above deck, but you do see some kind of maintenance hatchways that are scattered kind of throughout the deck that could lead into the interior of the ship. They're kind of like, most of them are kind of like these little screw-on hatches, so you kind of open them up quickly, but there are definitely ways you could get into the interior of the airship and kind of past the more societal areas and get into where things will be hidden. So you've passed your first obstacle for the first round on that side. Before we get to the next round, I'll give you guys a second to think, because biggest thing now is finding a way to get past the prying eyes, unless you want to burn that edge early and get to the ship. So think on that side. But Will Jeet, there are a number of different people from that would be associated with Lady Malgus, from Lady Malgus herself to Isi, to some of the others that were described. Her captain of the guards, her steward, her son, Sir Edwin Malgus. Who do you guys want to pick as your first target to kind of pick some information, try to see if you can find some dirt off?
Go ahead first.
Well, okay. Before I say anything, actually, but bad news. Message was also in my staff, so I've just lost all my cool stuff for this infiltration. But personally, I want to see if I can speak to Essie or Essie.
Perfect.
If I would like to, if possible, speak to her without Lady Malgus also being there, which I understand could be difficult.
Malgus is still speaking to Lord Corrin, so he is she is kind of a respectful distance away. So you could definitely try to potentially kind of steer her away if you'd like to. So you're going to go speak to her. Jeet, what are you doing in this exchange?
Okay, if Malgus is still talking to Corrin, I believe Laren is right now on his own with Ale, the Captain Laren. So I'll go up to the captain and open by complimenting his exercise regimen.
Okay, so you guys are splitting up. I didn't think that would be one you guys chose. All right.
I think before we do any of this cool stuff, I think we spend a good 15 minutes just chatting with like a bunch of different people. Like we meet with people who bet on us and be thank you for your support. We appreciate your admiration in this endeavor. Like just chatting and just meeting with people, eating hors d'oeuvres, sipping champagne, that kind of stuff. So I don't want to head immediately towards my target. I want to spend a little time just
we
mingling.
Circle.
Yeah.
You guys are definitely able to kind of mingle a bit before you start kind of making your moves there. So Will, Jade, we'll get to you in a second. Will, how do you approach Isi?
That was what I should have been spending my time thinking about.
You want me to go to Jade first, we can come back to you? Or
sure, yeah.
So, you compliment, like, he's like, as you walk up, like, this guy, like, he has like a pretty like a mug that's like half full, but he's definitely kind of one of those people that keeps flagging down servers as they go by, and he is like gesturing wildly. You see kind of a group of guards and you see people from military backgrounds. Some of the guards seem like they really should be elsewhere, but he is definitely regaling. And you come up, you see him regaling him with this tale. We were outnumbered, forces against us. And you kind of see like he moves like some of like the cups from this table around and like places them like forces. He goes, "We should have lost this battle, but no. I serve the House of Malgus. We charged forth, battered down those bastards, sent the Reavers packing. Those orcs didn't know what hit them. Bravery and the light of Akari. That's all you really need. Waiter, more drink." And as you kind of compliment like his physique, he goes, "Well, you kind of see he puffs up a bit. He stands a little straight and goes, 'Oh yeah, of course. I am the captain of the guard for Lady Malgus. I'm sure. I mean, you know, honor upon honor. But yeah, who may you be? I should forgive me for my manners."
My name is Agnijit Abe. I am one of the participants in the tournament.
You kind of see like he's still smiling. And he still puffed up, still smiling a little bit. Oh, you're with that luminescent runaway boy.
Yes, but I wanted to talk about the charge that you mentioned. And I can't believe I looked into this guy because I like to roll warfare lore to see if I can correctly identify the maneuver that he made, like the name of the maneuver that he made to defeat his forces, and see how he reacts to that.
Definitely, yeah, go for it. Yeah,
I like that.
Solid. Yeah.
Nice roll.
I don't know if
I'll call it the hammer and anvil. So it was the classic hammer and anvil that the old Codinian military general had come up with for the first time. I've never seen a practical application of it.
You see, like he was listening rapidly, but like his smile kept growing and growing. He's like, he slams his mug down. Yes, this one gets it. Agnijit, yes. Hammer and anvil, Codinian cavalry, we raced in. Those Reavers can't fight off a boat. They did not know how to handle us. I'm like, Waves, get him a drink too.
Nice. A little bit surprised that I'm successfully able to implement. He'll take the drink and you can go to Will.
Sweet. So Will, how do you approach Essie? I keep on calling her Essie, but it's Essie.
Maybe it's because you have a god named Issei. It's back.
It really is. Yeah.
I have an idea. I know that she is a worshiper of Hikari.
You do know she's a worshiper of the Lightbringers in Akari. Not the luminescent sect, I'll say.
Yeah. But I'm gonna guess that means that she's from Lumox, and I'm going to. Here's my plan. I want to go up to her and just be super casual and just speak to her like, I heard you were make introductions, like his fancy speech of like, my name is Will of Rashan. I have a pleasure to make your acquaintance. But then he wants to say, like, sort of act like he's like not used to this kind of thing. He talk about how like tiresome all this is, and talk about how he misses Lumox, and see if that catches her attention.
Perfect. Before we do that, your choice of religion or society.
I have Lumox lore. Would that be better for me?
Not in this situation.
Okay. Well, in that case, it would be religion. I think would be better for me. Yes. I wanna. Yeah, let's do that roll. Go.
This will be a fairly easy roll too. Yeah, you ace this. So the Lightbringer Church, Hikari's church, while they do have Lumox and kind of like almost like the Vatican state, it was and is the most like widespread religion. They used to control The remnants of Scenaria pretty much controlled most of that continent before the Infernal Invasion. A whole bunch of terrible things happened to them. So her faith in Hikari doesn't necessarily mean she's from Lumox.
Gotcha. Okay then. Well, that ruins my whole plan. All right then. Do I think? Oh wait, I noticed in the images that you sent us that they're all dressed very similarly. Well, no, actually, Essie isn't dressed the same way as her. Do I know if the Malgus family is also a family of Hikari worshippers?
Yeah, actually, you would. You've been through their lands. You would know that they are, because they are in the former area that used to be Scenaria. They are definitely, to greater extents, Hikari worshippers. And you did, from your contact with Vox Populi, know they are, well, at least the lady is supporting or financing the Luminescence in their campaign to get you back.
Okay then. Well, if I know that actually it's not a huge indicator that she's from Lumox, that she's a worshiper of Kali, what I would like to do is sort of try to act like I'm using this as an opportunity to sort of speak to somebody who works with Lady Malgus and like act like I'm worried about actually speaking to the lady herself, and that's why I'm approaching Essie. And I just want to ask, just try to be like real casual, but just like, I'm sure you're aware that your Lady Malgus has been sponsoring some people who are, coming after me, to be quite frank with you. And I find that to be so, frankly, I'm hurt a little bit. And I understand that we have bad blood between me and my Lady Malgus's brother, but I was hoping that we might have better relations. And I was wondering, how do you feel about all that nasty business with the people chasing after me and sponsoring those who are coming after one of a fellow follower of the light?
All right, give me a diplomacy check here.
All right. I get nervous every time I have to do this. Nope, that's not going to apply to this. That's almost as bad as it can possibly be. Now here's the thing. Do I use my hero point for this? Because I feel like you know what? I'm going to use it. This is very important. It's my first impression with this person that I think is going to be important to me. So I'm going to re-roll it. That is so much better.
Yeah, you see, like, she stiffened up when you came over, but as you spoke, especially as you mentioned, kind of trying to kind of gauge where Lady Malgus was at, and kind of speaking of her financing the Luminescence. Essie didn't like. She's a stiff person, but she relaxed a bit. And you see her kind of nod and go, well, the Malgus family. I mean, you did what you did. Lady Malgus is not happy about it, but things are better. I'll say with her kind of in charge versus her brother. I mean, praise be to Hikari. Are you? I mean, I'll be honest. I don't much care for her sponsoring those Luminescence. And I hope you're not offended. I know you ran away from them. I don't think they follow the true light.
That was my exact thought. They are a strange. Forgive me, this might be a dirty word in certain circles. I think they're more like a cult, trying to use the light of Hikari as some sort of to give them an aura of legitimacy. But really, I don't think their particular brand of worship really is in line with the way that most folks consider Hikari's light a boon in their lives. That is why I found that I had to leave. I couldn't stand to be a part of that anymore. You understand. And I'm just...
Rosh Amiel cannot be taken that well.
Well, actually, this is a thing that I really, I guess, should have established before with you, Tegan. Because Rashanael is a follower of Hikari. But we have already established that the whole luminescence thing is not like a popular thing among other worshippers of Hikari. So I don't think we ever talked about like how does Rashanael feel about what the luminencers were doing with like trying to like breed more of the what do you call them? I don't know, Nephilim, that's the word in this game.
We'll ask Samar for this one, but yeah, Nephilim is a bad guy who uses. I for most of the D&D words up the spells, I'm up for Asmar and Tieflings and Nephilims, but
all right, gotcha.
With and I'll leave that to you on that. So I'll kind of give a little bit of background for it, but I mean, this for Celestials, Angels, usually they kind of play second fiddle to the god a lot of times, and Luminescence, I wouldn't say they're first fiddle, but they're closer to first than they usually are, especially with the extreme probably is a good word for the extreme focus on literally breeding people to result in more ancestral lineages that could kind of call in those angels. Yeah, I kind of see how would Rashanael feel about that compared to, because the typical Lightbringer church, the typical Lumox outside of the island for the Luminescence reside on, they definitely respect and revere the angels and celestials, but Hikari is like center stage. Hikari's on her own on the stage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think Rashanael actually wouldn't. Would Rashanael? You know what? I guess Rashanael probably, considering she probably would approve of it because it's bringing more, faithful warriors into the world and all that stuff. As much as I hate to admit it, I think Rashanael would have approved. I don't think she would have been like, I don't think she would have seen it as like a necessity, but she would have been like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. I like that plan. I feel like that's how Rashanael would feel about that whole sect of the Hikari worshippers, much to my chagrin.
Perfect. Sweet. So we are going to pause you guys on that side. You guys have both earned some points towards some favorite points. I forgot what they're called right now for influence. But you guys, Will, you earned 2. Actually, no, G, you earned 2 as well because you did warfare. So you guys have both earned 2 points on that side for kind of the favor piece. We're going to pause you guys. Go to infiltration crew. Infiltration guys, you guys have found around it. You found kind of the surface hatches and where the maintenance crew kind of could make their way down. The biggest thing is kind of making enough of a distraction to be able to get your way down or cashing in on your uniforms. Wisteria, I'll pick on you first, but infiltration crew, how do you guys want to get down there?
So I was hoping to look around as we're navigating some of these. Wait, sorry, are we in the maintenance shafts? Like we can just go.
No, you guys found kind of like where the maintenance shafts are. You guys are on the deck where kind of like the social area
right.
is.
Okay.
You guys need to find a way to kind of, because you can definitely kind of walk right up to those areas. And if you wanted to use your edge from the thing, not even have to roll on that side. But if you wanted to save that edge in reserve, you'd have to find a distraction to find your way to the side.
Is there just one maintenance hatch we've spotted, or are there like different ones scattered around the whole deck?
There are multiple scattered around this kind of behemoth of an airship.
Gotcha. So I was thinking maybe I can go by one of the maintenance hatches and look for a part of the airship, or maybe like behind a board or something like that, where with my skill in crafting, I can identify something I can do to like cause an issue with the ship, not enough to like, cause a huge commotion or anything, but something to where like something's wrong and the people who operate it need to come like fix this. And to make a little bit of a scene that way. So I want to like tamper with it in a way and then go report to somebody like, hey, I saw this thing, I think it's broken, and try to get like some commotion moving in that direction as they're trying to figure out like what's wrong and how to fix it.
Definitely. So you got to break something minor just to kind of cause a little bit of scene with it. Yeah. All right, give me a crafting check.
All right.
Solid. Yeah, you were able to kind of go through and find one of like kind of like the exposed propellers that are kind of near the top on that side, and then they're not running yet, so you're able to go through and just disable it enough that if it was running, it wouldn't drop the airship, but enough that the crew would want to take a look at it and definitely kind of rough it up a bit on that side, or just enough that they'll need to come take a look and fix it before they need to go and take off with the airship next round. Sweet. So you guys have earned for the kind of the with the fine that you wait to earn a distraction, you've earned one what's it called? Infiltration point out of the 2 necessary for that side. Mockery Mockery or Belric. Anything else you guys want to do to add to that distraction?
Oh, I can add to the distraction.
Well, you guys need 2 infiltration points to kind of get that distraction through.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So you've got one more you need. This is a
So
group.
I will have drink. Do you have any ideas there, Mockery? No,
I was able to hear. I just got back. I have some chips.
do you want to add to
You
this?
know, I want to see what Belric does for this situation. I want to see.
Okay. Yeah, I will find like maybe a vacated area, maybe behind a bar or in a corner that's like not super populated, but still, I guess, viewable if that exists to begin with, Tegan.
Yeah, you could definitely kind of go. This is a big deck,
Yeah.
so you could definitely kind of go in an area where it's not super noticeable. It's an open deck with the kind of like different like bars and things scattered around. So you kind of like huddle against one of the bars that was placed on the deck and kind of see if you can get a little bit of cover and kind of cock whatever you're thinking.
Yeah, so like I would go to like maybe a table next to a window, and my goal here would be like, I'll have my very alcoholic drink that I did take a couple sips of up towards the top, but I'll pour it down towards the bottom, like down onto the ground a little bit, so that there's like a bit of a trail, so that I can use some flint and steel, I think is what I have. Something just to ignite that alcohol from maybe like a distance around the carpet, and then I can go away, and then it'll ignite up the table, and then maybe there's a centerpiece or something there that would like ignite further, and it would just be not like not like a gigantic fire, but like something that would be noticeable, and I would be out of there by the time that it would be there. That's my goal.
Sweet.
Belric commits arson.
Yes. Thank you. That's the episode name.
As is tradition.
There are multiple different skill checks you could take on this side. There are different DCs associated with those skill checks. I'll give them kind of a high to low, or low to high on that side. Stealth, kind of try to do this quietly, see if you can kind of go through and get that lit without causing awareness to the group. Next would be crafting, next would be crafting. Third would be survival.
Okay. I'm gonna stealth it.
All right.
Sneaky.
Are you letting that stand?
I don't know the way that you asked that. I don't feel like I should.
What's our like level DC at this point? Isn't it like 22?
Higher than that.
Okay. I'm going to use my hero point here.
Hero point up.
Re-roll my stealth. I'm super nervous now. Oh god.
Oh, that's just bad luck.
Oh, same thing.
Yeah, so Belric, you try to be sneaky, but you kind of stand out in high society either way. Your bear's not with you now, so it's a little bit less conspicuous. But looking at the clothing and everybody else around, people are watching you, but not like watching you, but definitely kind of like, who is he? Why is he here? And all of a sudden, they see a fire spark out on that side. And that does earn you a sort of crit fail, so it does earn you another awareness point. You guys are at 2 awareness points. As people are like, the gods cursed gavels of Avasara. They're a fire on Lord Axon's ship. And can't take them nowhere. So unfortunately, you don't earn your infiltration points. So you still have 1 left. Mockery, if you have an idea, you guys have 2 awareness points. Well, Mockery will see what you do, and we'll flip back to the influence group.
So I am still a little staggered by the crowd immediately going like, you can't take them anywhere. It was G2 who said earlier, like, Beshnet would die here. Oh shoot, I'm trying to think. What could Mockery do to help here?
You guys just need a distraction to be able to get to that access hatch and bug out.
And the distraction cannot be ourselves, right?
I mean, it depends. It depends on how you do it. Because if you like make a ruckus completely of yourself, that can earn awareness points even without the failure. But if it is just kind of like something that could be or easily construed as not breaking social faux pas, you could definitely get away without earning awareness points if you succeed.
Could Mockery do a half and half? And I say half and half, but it's like part distraction, part advertisement, and bring out a small box and offer free cards of the Gavel of Evasera to draw people's attention away.
Okay, so you want to... All right. So with this as well, so you're trying to kind of like gather people around, show off the cards. So that'll draw attention to you. We'll definitely give kind of Belric and Wisteria some time to do what they were thinking there. So you could definitely do that on that side. So give me your choice of performance or diplomacy.
I'll do diplomacy here because I'm scared of failure. And in addition, I'll also add like Mockery even he offers to sign some of his cards. For some reason, I feel like no one would take any of his cards.
So you like, it's one of those ones like it's like at this point between some of the Belric starting a little bit of a fire with a snafu, Wisteria trying to bring in contraband goods. It's like one of those like curiosity pieces. Like, did that tiefling gnome bring in a booth and cards? Oh, we have to see it. We have, and people are flocking to it. They it's one of those like abject curiosity type things. Like people are like, hey, your name it's really Mockery, right? I mean, what's your real name, Mockery?
No.
My name is indeed Mockery. I didn't get to pick it, but then again, who gets to pick their names?
Oh, well, quite right.
Oh, the cards are for free. Take them. They have facts about us on them.
Well, I guess I will take one. I mean, I guess I don't know if I would say you're famous, but I feel like you are infamous. The gavel, so this be worth something. Well, thank you, Mockery. And you guys, it's causing quite a stir. Wisteria, Belric, you guys definitely, and then we're gonna switch to the influence team. The last piece you guys have on this one is getting into that access hatch. Mockery. So with this, it's gonna be it's a little bit of a trade-off here. Mockery, you're gonna have a little bit of a harder circumstance, kind of sneaking away from your crowd of nobles. So you've actually been kind of charmed in a bit of a way. Wisteria, Belric, he's taking a lot of heat off you guys. So you will have a bonus for trying to sneak away and get into that access hatch. Because people aren't paying right now attention. They've forgotten about Belric starting the fire, and they kind of think it's a little bit of a promotion right now for Mockery's stand and their infamous wares of the gallows. but Will cheat. So you guys both split up. You guys are taking different people on that side. Will, you got Essie. What
Okay. Before we start, I need to know what the rare hollow card looks like. What's on? Is the secret rare one the one image that has all of us in it, and you've like made it holographic, magically speaking? And
The whole gavel.
yeah,
I feel like those are the ones Mockery gave specifically to the gavel. One of a kind.
the legendary cards that are more powerful than the rest. These are turning from trading cards into trading card game. Anyway,
and I feel like I gotta go on this one a little bit. I feel like Mockery would give like, correct me if I'm wrong, Rocky. I feel like you'd make Beshnet somehow like the crazy one. Like there'd be some like rare combo that Beshnet could do. And I feel like Mockery was trying to hold Beshnet the lieutenant before.
Absolutely, he is the banner bearer. Bro would originally carry the team.
But Will, sorry, back to you on that side.
No, you're good. I started it. I'm glad I did. So I want here's Will's ideal scenario, and then tell me what I have to roll, and then like how well it goes, and all that. This is Will's ideal scenario. Spend some time chatting with Essie. We've already started off in the conversation talking about how she doesn't really agree with something that Lady Malgus has done, right? We just spend some more time talking, and Will starts like chatting to her about Lumox, and actually gets to like bring up some of the good parts of like growing up with in the with the luminescence and all that stuff, and talking about, because that's something that they have in common with like the worship and all that stuff. And he talks about like what it was like being like, he was kind of like a high level member of the church, sort of. It's like the highest priest in like a small town. So he kind of is, well, it's up to interpretation whether that makes him important or not.
Definitely. So, but one point of distinction: how is Will presented this? He's presented this kind of from the Lumox angle or the luminescent angle?
Lumox, kind of, just like what worship is like in Lumox, and like talking about the most beautiful temple that he was working as a part of, and like things that he got to do as being there. And I'm hoping to get to use, just in the interest of not rolling the same check every single time, I would like to see if I can use Lumox lore, which I have, just because otherwise I'm going to be doing nothing but rolling diplomacy 7 times tonight.
Yeah, and with this, you guys are doing influence too, so you can like Jeet did earlier with Discovery, kind of find what their best skill is to roll, what their weaknesses are, what their resistances are. You can find out more about her as well if you'd like to. But you can definitely go along with this plan as well. So if you'd like to, you can either do religion or Lumox lore. There's no difference on that side between the two of them.
Okay, then. But yeah, my goal is to like get her to like, we're chatting, we're best friends now. Like I said, this is like, I'm not saying this is what happens. I'm saying this is Will's ideal scenario, and then the role will determine how successful that is. But we're becoming good friends, and then she starts becoming more willing to talk about other things that she doesn't like that Lady Malgus is doing. You see where I'm going with this? That's when maybe she reveals perhaps something she shouldn't about Lady Malgus, and I find out some interesting things that Lady Malgus is getting herself into that perhaps she shouldn't. That's my ideal version of the scenario.
Definitely. So give me your role on that side. And just to clarify, you're talking just purely about Lumox, right?
Yeah, talking about Lumox is how I'm starting the conversation, and how I'm sort of getting closer to her and like getting her talking.
How about your past? You're gonna give me some of your past experience too with the church.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, give me a religion roll.
Okay. Dang, that's bad. It's bad. No.
You kind of see her like initially she was nodding along, especially when you kind of spoke about some other pieces, and especially with you being a runaway from the luminescent church. But as she hears more kind of like some of your experiences, especially kind of the connections to the luminescence, you kind of see her face kind of crinkle up a bit. And she goes, You lose some favor on that side. You got like just take a step back, but you do see her body language kind of becomes a little bit closed off, and she gives like this polite church lady thing. She goes, "Well, I don't know. I'm no religious scholar, but I still feel like the light of Akari shines that way."
Oof. That is all I have to say. Oof, indeed. Sorry, but Will, right. I think we're in agreement in that just they have some certainly beautiful places, and that they do have some of the same sort of directions that they're taking things. But I agree that the luminescents are, well, not quite so light as they claim to be. That's why I had to leave, along with my companion at the time. But yeah, I can tell eventually that is not going well, and I'm going to have to try a different tactic.
All right, G, we'll pivot over to you. Yeah, so you've got the general or the captain of the guard in pretty good favor right now. What does G try next after?
So he sees in the corner of his eye that Will has made contact, and a few minutes have passed. So he needs to start wrapping up over here and slowly make his way and do what he's here to do, which is help out Will directly. But just for right now, while he has the general's slight favor, as the general keeps talking about his stories, and I don't know what role this would be, but he tries to direct the conversation with like little hints and stuff towards any new or recent military stuff that he might have done, specifically on behalf of the Malgus family, to figure out what the family's standing and like goals or whatever is going on right now. So it'll be like, that is amazing. Have you had a chance to implement this kind of strategy any time recently against people who are studying the new versions of these tactics?
I love that. It's a great idea.
Definitely your choice of diplomacy or society.
Yeah, I feel like society. They're both the same. So yeah, let's do society. Ah!
Nice.
Solid. That nat 20 really came in handy on this one too, the higher DC. So that bumped you up to a crit success. That does give you another 2 influence points on that side as well. You see, as you talk to him, like times went by, he is Drake. Like he's definitely one of those ones that keeps like having the waiter come back and refill his cup. And he bellows out, and he goes, "Oh, of course." You can see him like he acts like he's lowering his voice, but he is still talking like at obnoxious drunk level. And he goes, "Well, Ashash, I like you. I legit. Ashash, Lady Malgus, you've heard of all that kerfuffle and Mechas, right? Hellspawn, all that. Yeah.
Of course.
Reavers are in the ocean with the orcs. I mean, the oceans right now, perilous. Lady Malgus has allowed me to take our navy and go patrolling. I have captured ships of the Imperium, ships of the Reavers. And this is the hush-hush part. We captured them. We took their people hostage. We brought them back, and now they work for Malgus. Because we beat them, we showed our military prowess, we showed how well we can defend our lands, and now they have to serve our lands because they're enemies of our lands. But he kind of nods to Cord. He doesn't need to know everything right now about that, but it's between us warriors.
Oh, yes, definitely. Hold on. I need to make a roll for this. In his mind, he's just like thinking slavers. His eyes are just a little too wide. Yeah, of course. Might, right? It's all about the might. That sounds amazing. The victories on the sea and everything. Hold on, excuse me. I think my companion is calling me. I just need to quickly check up. But we'll catch up more on techniques and things. And he just heads out.
You see, he's like frowning at you as you go. He goes, "No one likes loose lips, right? Soldier's code." But as you walk far enough away, like he goes back and starts like bothering some of those guards and soldiers. But he does get, you guys see, like he keeps like somewhat of an eye on you as you walk away. Infiltration team.
This man just admitted to them enslaving Reavers, which these people are already enemies of the Gavel, but they are enemies of the Gavel now.
But I don't think anybody's regret. Well, Wisteria has affiliation to the Reavers, but nobody super loves the Reavers. But with that, infiltration team. With Mockery is over there creating a big distraction, bringing out some of their holographic playing cards for the Gavels. How are you guys? I mean, you guys have an easy. It's a distraction right now. People thought the fire was theatrics, and now really aren't paying too much attention to the other Gavels. Belric, Wisteria, how do you guys make your way to the hatch and inside the airship? Anything crazy you guys do? And I'll give you guys a second to think about that. I'll be right back.
I know what Mockery is going to do to get the heat off of him.
Okay. We'll probably start that then.
Yeah, I mean,
He's going to direct them all to Jeet.
What?
Yeah, I mean, depending on how effective. Because one thing I was thinking, if we need to, is if the rolls go poorly and Mockery needs to be the distraction of himself, he can pivot to the other team, while me and Belric go underneath, and Mockery stays on deck to keep people's attention on him. But we'll see. How things turn out.
There's a second reason why Mockery wasn't on the diplomacy team. They worship Akari.
Right.
These guys over here.
Probably no love for tieflings.
Especially ones who wear their corruption openly, and same with holy symbols.
So what?
But Deegan, I see you're back. Mockery. I have an idea with Mockery to get the heat off of him. He's going to start hyping up Jeet and directing the crowd to Jeet to ask him questions, because Jeet is our quartermaster. He knows the ins and outs, and he's probably one of the only other people who skims or / reads Wisteria's notes. And Mockery would have it like, oh yeah,
Jeet, he knows all the stories. He patches us up. He is an excellent warrior and a brilliant tactician. I think I saw him talking to a soldier over there. I heard something about Hammer and Ander. He will tell you the great battles we've shared in a way that I simply cannot. I put embellishments. I tell a story. He tells you the strategy. He knows the names on those things.
Perfect. Give me a deception check. You're kind of the focus of attention right now, so you have a hard DC.
got it. And deception. Does a 28 pass?
You pass. Yeah, you're able to go through. G, as you separate yourself from the general, you do get swarmed by some other nobles asking ludicrous questions as they kind of walk around you. But Mockery, it does allow you enough time to kind of break away and slip towards the access hatches. Belric, Wisteria, you guys have the easier time of it. What do you guys do to stick away, if anything crazy?
Just a small bit from Mockery. He's going to give Jeet like a double thumbs up and a big smile, like he just gave him an opportunity. Not knowing Jeet just disengaged from a conversation that went to like, yeah, we just enslaved some people.
It's like prisoners of war, tomato.
I think nothing too crazy for Belric. I mean, he's gonna like stealthily move down and in. He's disguised and just.
You guys could definitely give stealth checks if you'd like to on that side. So, and you guys do have a +2 bonus.
Wisteria only wears dresses that are quiet and light enough to move around very carefully and nimbly.
It's a 24.
Nice. Wisteria, oh, does that have your +2? It does have your +2.
Yeah, it did.
So you do like Belric, you were able to kind of go through capitalizing off Mockery's distraction and make your way into the access hatch. You're going to follow behind Mockery. Wisteria, you do draw some attention. I don't you got to decide what attention you draw or how you draw attention because it's just barely noticeable, but you do kind of see some people kind of peering around and looking at you as you kind of make your way out there, just kind of watching you go and just curiosity beginning to spike. What does Wisteria do as she makes her way to the access hatch that kind of trips up and causes a little bit of attention?
I mean, I think she's at this point very confident in Mockery's distraction of having gotten all eyes off them. And so, maybe, I mean, it's been a while, but like the ocean and being on seagoing vessels, and even though we're not far from the sea still, I think she'll take a minute to like peer over the edge, like railing of the deck, and just kind of look out at the desert, and for a minute, kind of feel like she's back on the ocean. And that extra kind of time that she spends reminiscing about that for a second is when somebody spots her just before she goes down into the maintenance hatch.
Perfect. So you are able to go through there. You do earn awareness points. You guys are at 3 awareness points. First round is over for both diplomacy team and infiltration team. With that, so you guys got a little bit of information. We'll kind of do a little bit of a cap on this side for both. Infiltration team, you guys are able to cause a distraction, make your way down into the ship. You still have both of your edge pieces on that side with your stealth practice training as well as your disguises as a maintenance crew. So you guys have got through the round 1. As the round ticks, you do earn 1 more awareness points. You're at round 4. Awareness 4. Jeet, Will, you were able to gather some information from Essie, learning that she's not always been happy with Lady Malgus's decisions, especially around the luminescence. Kind of learning a piece of information there, though you did kind of go a little cold with her for round 1 near the end. Jeet, you were able to, at least initially, play the military man very well on that side, going over some of, getting him to talk about some of his victories and talk about a recent kind of spree of him attacking ships from the Imperium of Mechas, as well as the Reavers, kind of any of these ships that are near the waters on the southern border of Condenia, and taking the prisoners, or taking the hostage prisoner and bringing them back to Condenia to work. Slavery, a different word. But with that as well, so you got a little bit of dirt on Lady Malgus so far, but definitely nothing that would stick or expose her. We'll hopefully be able to do one more round before we wrap up today for both infiltration as well as influence on that side. So infiltration team just went. Will, G, you guys are kind of able to meet back up and kind of gather some of your notes and compare what has been learned so far. There's a similar, you guys can either go back and see if you can get more information from both Essie as well as the captain of the guard, or you could try to gather information from others that are around as well. And let me kind of run through exactly who you've got there.
I'll tell Will that from the something he let slip, it seemed like Corin does not know about this. So if you want, we can or we should or can try to get more people to confess to this or tell Corin about this, try to influence Corin himself, or we can try to build a broader case against the lady and then talk to other people instead.
I was thinking of trying to gather more information about him first.
Mhm.
But just about, by the way, just I can't because I can't help myself. As he was like he saw like Jeet sort of fast walking towards us. Will would have been like kindly excused himself from Essie and kissed her on the back of her hand and assured that the lady must need you. I shouldn't keep you for very long, and they split up. But yeah, Will be like, that is unconscionable, absolutely. But I think here's the thing: when it comes to nobility, there's a saying: you should never commit two crimes at the same time. One crime going on, nobody cares. That's something easily buried. If you are committing two things at once, that gets two separate groups of people against you. That's when the populace begins to turn against you. So that is great. I'm so glad that you found that out. That's the perfect kind of thing that we need about them. But I think we're going to need at least one more thing.
Okay. This time, I don't know. I was doing well, and then he dropped that information, and I think I panicked. Maybe I'll stick right next to you this time.
Yeah,
So
let's stick together this time.
Yes,
So we can work
yes.
together.
Yeah.
Here's what I was hoping. I was thinking perhaps we could try to find out who really hates the Malgus family. You know what I mean? Who have they pissed off already that we can talk to?
Let's look around, and he actually like starts looking around at Codinians because we had heard the rumors before that some Codinians weren't happy with how well the Malgus house is doing now, and just to see if there's anyone who's any Codinians being standoffish.
Definitely, give me a perception check.
Any ideas? Any ideas on who it might be? He's saying out loud to Will.
I didn't spend a whole lot of time in Codinia. I was mostly passing through, unfortunately.
As you look around, you do see like one person like she's got a stern expression either way. Like she's got like a face that's kind of like pockmarked as well. Like she either had a disease, bad acne, or something. Her hair is like she's kind of like she's dressed professionally, but kind of like a little bit like Belric though. Like it's one of those ones she's dressed professionally, but she did not put a lot of like care into her appearance for this one. Her hair is a little bit scraggly, looks a little bit oily. She's got like pock marks on her face, stern expression. She does wear a nice chain with kind of the symbol of Codinia upon it, though. And with that perception, I'll just give it to you. It's the symbol of the magistrate as well. So kind of the Queen's law for Codinia. So she's not above the lords, but she's one of the few that can make the lords pay attention because she speaks with the Queen's word. So you do see, but she's not really like she's surprisingly not dressed like it. She's stern face, robes wrinkled, hair in a mess. But she is kind of like speaking to like a small group of people with a glass of wine. But you do see the kind of thing that lets you know, like she keeps staring from where Lady Malgus was when she spat, to that spot she spat on the floor. Like she looks at that spot and then glares at Lady Malgus, looks at that spot, goes back to talking, takes a drink, glares, repeats.
She just says, her.
All right, good eye. Let's see if we can ingratiate ourselves, shall we? Find out why exactly she has this distaste for Lady Malgus. Not that there's not plenty of reasons.
Just do watch out because I think that's the symbol of the magistrates. One or two would come and talk to the higher arbiters. I think that's one of the magistrates. But yes, I'll just be right behind you.
All right.
Will, as you go, another question too. So for Will, like with what happened with Lord Malgus and the whole kerfuffle between was Will trying to steal his wife? We all know he wasn't. But with Rashaniel's power kind of coming into being there and not under Will's control in that situation, how does Will kind of? I mean, we know a little bit that Will can be uncomfortable and sometimes at odds with Rashaniel. But how does Will kind of feel about the power that Rashaniel can bring to bear, even if it's not Will's own design at that point, especially with kind of what happened to Lord Malgus hanging in the background?
Well, I think. I mean, Will is absolutely. I think I had him say that before in the interview. He doesn't know what he would be without Rashaniel. He had Rashaniel with him his whole life. It's like, as much as it like is very annoying a lot of the time. It would be hard for him to admit this, and I think this is the first time I've really seriously thought about it. But I think he does love Rashaniel like family. But she's just really obnoxious because she always only has one thing on our mind, and she's always trying to get him to do it. And it's like your friend who only cares about one thing that you're not really interested in. They're constantly trying to get you to, we have to go smite evil and stuff like that. She's like, well, he's like, I want to go to a restaurant sometimes. I don't want to always spend all my time smiting evil. And also there's the whole, it is really, he thinks she's scary for sure. Especially like when she actually like appears before him, which is kind of pretty rare. But yeah, I think he's not like opposed to Rashaniel's power or anything like that.
Okay, nice. So how do you guys approach?
And I do want to say, I think she was responding to his desires. Like I don't think he did it on purpose, but he was kind of like wishing something like that would happen. You know what I mean?
So
like
Will was like, "Who will get rid of this meddlesome priest for him?" Pretty much.
Yeah, and then Rashana was like, "Fine then, if he is in our way," and then did whatever she did to him.
Nice. I don't think that was mentioned in the interview. I like that piece too. Like, yeah, cool. All right, so Will, what do you guys do for your second round? You guys are approaching the magistrate together. How do you approach?
That is a good question.
Oh, and her name's Alinsa as well.
Alinsa.
Okay, so yeah, you said she's already talking to other people, right?
Yeah, she's got like a large crowd. She's kind of like actually chatting with a group. Like her, like she's one of it's one of those like she's like kind of eyeing, maybe put a point in, but her eyes are definitely gonna focus on the spit or the spot in the lady.
Maybe we just call that out directly instead of like being circumspect about it. Be like, hey, I noticed you really seem to be glaring at this lady. What's your deal? You know what I mean? More polite than that, but I guess we don't have to be secretive all the time about our intentions.
Go for it.
Sure. All right. So Will would, sort of casually walk up and sort of like, first of all, as we're approaching, can I hear what kind of conversation that is going on? Is it important? Is it anything interesting?
It's fairly mundane. You kind of hear her just It's like, oh well, this is the wine from Lord Axton brought this stock out from the Sumerian farms. It's delightful, isn't it? And like you see her going, glaring at the spot, like she's not really paying attention, and it's kind of idle noble talk.
So Will's like, yeah. Actually, I love that stuff. I've been a big fan of their vintage ever since the year, whatever year it is. I actually don't know. But Will would sort of like turn to Alinsa. You said, Alinsa. Magistrate Alinsa, is it? It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am Will of Rashaniel, and this is my good friend Agnijit Abe. We're going to be participating in the tournament very soon, and just sort of making the rounds, getting to know people. Haven't been around here before. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. And he does the bow and all that.
You see her kind of give a nod back as well. She goes, Agnew Abe, I've not made your acquaintance before. Nice to meet you. Will of Rashanaya. We have not met. You have caused a bit of a change in structure within Codinia. The old lord, Malgus, knew his place.
Ah, I understand. Well, it seems to me that you don't seem to think very highly of the Lady Malgus. Is that correct?
You see, like, she kind of like looks to the other people speaking to her. She goes, I have the utmost respect for all of the lords and ladies and rulers of Codinia, especially our great queen Zaina. But then she goes, you lot, I'll catch up with you later, please. Will and Agneji, this way. And she pulls you guys away and she goes, now that was a very loaded question to ask in front of other nobles there, but why do you ask it? I know she's no friend of yours, though she's benefited from your, or I should say your companions' actions.
Well, I suppose it's a good thing that you've heard of me. We can dispense with the pleasantries and introductions and whatnot. Yeah, you could say that I shook things up in the structure of the nobility and all that. I assure you, that was entirely unintentional. I was defending myself. You see, I don't know if you've heard the whole story, but it seems that old Lord Malgus had trouble. How would Will phrase this? How would I phrase this? Because without sounding like a huge asshole, it seems that Lord Malgus had difficulties keeping his wife's interest on him, and so he took issue with me because of that. He was threatening me, and so I was forced to retaliate. That is, but I don't want to talk about the past. You understand, the lady, because of what I did to her brother, does not have a very high opinion of me, and it seems to me that the two of us are united in our distaste for the Lady Malgus. Is that correct?
Give me a diplomacy check.
Oh boy, here we go. This is what I'm supposed to...
Is there any way I can aid with like supportive expressions? And Wussifer's nodding.
You wouldn't be able to aid, but you could try to discover before we go through the check if you'd like to learn something about it.
Sure,
100%. Yeah.
He would be better than me at that, probably.
Yeah, so from all of the talking that she's been doing and the way that she's been responding, like things that are important to her, I would like to know. Or a thing that is very important to her.
Okay, give me a perception check. Solid.
Thank you, gods.
You do find, so the biggest thing for her, and this is kind of one of her resistances in the influence kind of world, which is basically things that she does not like. She's like people that don't follow customs, that don't follow the laws. She's very big on kind of following Queen Zaina's laws, kind of following the laws of Codinia. Anything that goes against that is definitely not something that's going to fit her. It's something she'd fight against.
Okay, then I'm just going to say to Will, just getting a drink over there, and then as I do, I will send message cantrip to him. Whatever you do, do not propose any law breaking. Try to work within the law with her, and then come back with like 2 cups of wine.
Perfect. Give me a religion check, G.
Oh, me? Yes.
Yeah, well, +2.
Ooh, okay.
I'm now realizing it was kind of... I wasn't thinking about it at the time, but I put all of my sort of subterfuge spells in my staff, which is not subtle. It's a big-ass stick.
Perfect. So yeah, Will, as you go kind of proposing, let's be like the lady. Give me that diplomacy check.
All right, cool. This is what I'm supposed to be good at. Here we go.
Hey,
I'll let it ride. Here we go. I believe. I have no choice, actually. I don't have any hero points left.
you see, she's warily nods and goes, "I prefer the old Lord Malgus. The new one does not seem to respect the proper hierarchy and place that she should fall within Codinia. She's overreaching."
Interesting.
I mean, you saw that. She spit on Lord Axon's floor. But Corin, Axon, he outranks her. And she spit on his floor and just walked away as if nothing happened. That's who does that?
And that's a very strange thing to do at a party. Are we indoors or we're on the upper deck, like out?
Yeah.
Even still, like it's a strange thing to do on the floor of a party where people are going to be walking. It's one thing, in the dirt somewhere on the road, even. But this is somebody else's good floor. Who knows? And the servants are busy. They have other things to attend to. It's ridiculous.
In a Terria, something like that would get you punished. But then I guess a Terria is a little more concerned with order.
That is one thing that Unitarians do very well. Everything's orderly. People follow the role they are supposed to. And Lord Corn outranks myself as well. I can't presume to know his judgment, but I feel someone should have put her in her place long before now. She's overreaching, and I am worried about what she will do to the fabric of our society.
What is she doing that has overreached, in your opinion? What is she doing that is ruffling your feathers so much?
Will, give me another diplomacy check here.
Oh boy.
Nice. You see, she kind of looks back and leans in a little bit and goes, "Well, Queen Zaina did ask that I look in because her prisons have been fairly empty. Usually, from our other lords, we have either high amounts of executions or high amounts of prisoners being transitioned to the capital, Codinia, to be kept in our larger prisons and jails. Lady Malgus has not sent one prisoner since she's took over. Even so far, she's not had one prisoner reported since she's taken over. It's very vexing. I've requested her books. She has denied me, and Lord Corrin has not forced her to turn them over, and I have not been able to petition Zaina yet to force her to do so. It's just very vexing. It's not the proper order of things."
Will's going to look very concerned with this. I mean, he is. And he's going to turn for a moment to Jeet and sort of like quietly just be like, "Well, we've heard some very unfortunate things about her, and should we tell her?" He looks at Jeet.
Anything that would bring more order to the land, because I do not think she's following the proper laws.
My friend Agnejeet just heard a very disturbing rumor about Lady Malgus's operations, and I think that you are alluding to just those same things. And Will would talk about these horrendous things that we just heard about Lady Malgus and the rumors that are spreading around. Everybody's saying it. Not everybody, obviously, but...
I think Jeet would emphasize her own captain. Her own captain said this.
All right, well, give me a society check here. As you got to point out some of the information that Jeet was able to gain from the captain on how we fit into Codinians.
Beautiful. Yikes. Well, sounds bad.
Is there any way I could relinquish my hero point for this?
Oh, we We do have hero points, right? Outside of the one.
right. I forgot that there's like a group pool of hero points that no one ever uses because we always forget it
Right?
exists because it's not
Yeah.
on our character sheets. I desperately need that right now.
Yeah, I think you guys have been pulled up. I forgot how many you have. I think I have
We
like
have
3.
3, yeah. We've
3?
never used them.
I think we've used them once.
Oh, yes, a
maybe
few. Yeah.
two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I think this
feel
is
like. Is
where-
there
Yeah.
any objection to me using it on this?
Please.
None at all.
All right.
That's
That's
good.
not much better.
But not a crit fail, or
No,
hopefully.
or I mean, just a crit fail, but not like a double crit fail, which really. But
Wow, brutal.
when I get this dang archetype, I'm gonna be so much better at society and deception. Then you'll see. Then you'll see.
You will see.
you see, she kind of like pulls back a bit. She goes, "This is all hearsay. I need hard proof. If you could prove all of this, but I mean." One of your lots started a fire, the other tried to sneak in contraband. I mean, you guys are coming to me with this. If I bring this to the queen, I'll lose my head.
Oh, I wasn't suggesting you bring it to the queen. But actually, before he even says that, he's like, you look at it over G, like, started a fire. What?
Jesus is also just like blanking fully at this moment.
What? I've been near you the whole time. You didn't, because thinking like Jeet's the one with the fire stuff. but I've been at least close to Jeet all day, and I've never seen him start a fire. Anyway, but he moves on from that. I wasn't suggesting you bring it to the queen immediately. I'm just saying, I think we are aligned in our goals, and I think that we both have an interest in making sure that this doesn't continue. I was just providing what I thought might be a little more information for your pursuits as to what exactly is going on in your fine nation.
Will, sorry, just 1 second. Can I tell you something? Oh, sorry.
With that, we'll pivot you. So we'll get back to you telling Will. We're going to go to the infiltration team. Wisteria, Belric, Mockery. You guys are inside the ship now. You do have 4 awareness points. As you got into this bowels of this airship, you hear kind of this almost electric arc of arcane energy running through it. You see like these metal corridors kind of like up above, like looked like ornate, fancy. This definitely looks like practical. You were in the maintenance shaft. This is metal utility function as you guys kind of climb down the shaft. Biggest obstacle you guys have now, you're in this ginormous airship in the maintenance shafts, is trying to find your way to kind of where the vaults would be in this airship. This is going to be a group one, so you guys can do this together, but it is 2 infiltration points you will need to succeed. Wisteria, I'll pick on you first. Now that you're in the bowels of the beast, how do you proceed forward? And actually, with that too, another question, because I've been a little bit since we got a question from Wisteria here. So outside of when you were caught with your thesis, was Wisteria ever caught during one of her Moklin heist situations?
Let's see. So I'll answer that first and then get into what we're doing right now. I think she was caught when she tried to steal some information from another student who she later discovered was the leader of a small local thieves guild. And she was very kind of embarrassed by being caught, but then that student kind of was impressed by her skills and recruited her to that group. It's sort of a group of students, some of whom were stealing and doing theft to pay tuition, others in it for the fun, others in it to just try to get wealth even though they were already rich. And that's when Wisteria joined up with the Fraction Rats. and learned a lot of her thieving skills and got a lot better at that with that gang.
Sorry, did you say they're called the Fraction Rats?
Yes.
That's hilarious. I love that.
And so it was sort of a failure that turned into an opportunity for her because the leader of the group, Piper, is a lot more experienced at heists and theft than Wisteria was at the time. And yeah, so for this moment, I want to try to trace some of the arcane energy to see if I can get a sense of how the magic is moving throughout the ship and try to identify where the most like secure area of the ship or section of it might be. Like if the ship were to be attacked, like so probably what I'm going to do is start by looking for like the core central part of it holding all the magical power that gives it energy, because I imagine that would be like the safest part of the ship and the best place to keep a vault, and see if I can trace the arcane energy to that.
Perfect. So you're just trying to trace it back to its core.
Yeah, to help get a sense of how things are laid out in the ship.
All right, yeah, give me an Arcana check. Solid. Yeah, you're able to kind of go through there and see kind of some of the arcane runes, and get a feel for kind of how like the ship is laid out. You do see kind of like almost it's down, it kind of towards this middle of the ship. You gotta guess where at least the core reactor, the core kind of arcane battery that is powering this airship is flowing through. Just kind of following kind of the runic patterns and some of the kind of the causeways and some of the arcane just kind of flow for the ship is set up. So that will get you one success for kind of helping you and the infiltration crew navigate through. So that's one of the two infiltration points needed. Belric, Mockery, what are you guys thinking?
Mockery.
Oh no.
I failed last, so that's why I'm relying on you.
Damn. All right. Mockery here. So navigating these, I almost said tunnels. These maintenance vents, correct?
Yeah, kind of like the maintenance shafts then, yeah.
Thinking about it, a lot of my skills wouldn't apply much to that in particular. But one does come to mind. Is there any way Mockery could use his physical might to help us traverse these vents better? Basically, if there's any point where we have to... No, that wouldn't work.
Unfortunately, this was more kind of finding your way versus strength on that side, but definitely get creative.
Finding your way. Damn. Yeah, Mockery in particular is bad at perceiving. He's bad at finding.
Is there anything I could, Belric maybe could do to like understand the way these vents are going? Maybe it's crafted a specific way. Like, I mean, I know I can understand like patterns when I go into caves, right?
Yes,
there's some sort of pattern in terms of like how these vents are built, like an infrastructure, a way that like it's just built that I could recognize.
Yeah, definitely between kind of the patterns, the way it's built, and some of the kind of the arcane flow that Wisteria was able to find. You could definitely do a crafting check to see if you kind of determine what the best pathway through this kind of maze of tunnels would be to reach that point.
Yeah. Okay. So I got cavern lore, but I'm like, I know it. It's crafting. There's something. Shit. Man, 6/6. Okay. Well, that's all I got.
For the inspiration? Question mark. Do you want to use it?
That will be our last one, but I don't know.
Can we? The edges that we got are also like we turn a failure into a success. Is that how it works?
So you could definitely use your teamwork one. The one because the edges you could turn a failure into a success, but it has to kind of apply to what the edge you gained was. So your
Stealth
teamwork one,
or-
your drilling could probably be one that you can utilize here. Your disguises wouldn't apply here.
Yeah, so we used stealth and okay.
So do you guys
I
want
mean-
to work edge to turn that failure to a success?
What's the alternative here?
Take
That'll
awareness.
be
Failure.
failure, which will get you another awareness point, which will put you at 5 awareness points,
And
which
it's
is when a complication will occur.
oh, okay, right.
Burn the edge is what I
Well,
say.
Or we can maybe say the edge is for critical failures, depending on how, because it's like 20 awareness points to fail the whole mission.
20
That
over
works.
fail
Yeah,
everything,
yeah.
yep.
So, I mean, we're going to run into complications, but I feel like that's going to happen regardless over time. Whereas the critical failures is going to accelerate that rate, maybe, but. Well,
So you
One
guys
would
look-
stand.
They used one. I feel like we should just use it.
you can use, yeah, because you have one inspiration point. You could burn that versus your edge if you'd like to as well.
Yeah, I feel like we should use our inspiration point here.
Or hero point, group hero point, I should say.
0 point. God bless it.
Oh,
No
shit.
way!
No way!
Yeah.
This is crazy.
How does this keep happening?
Oh,
Elric!
I'm done rolling, dude. 6699.
He's fine. He's fine.
This is
He's
terrible.
fine. We're fine. Everything's
We're
fine.
We're fine.
So yeah, you guys are able to kind of maneuver through Belric. It takes a bit. You're trying to kind of match up with some of the runes Mysterious found and trying to lead your way through. But unfortunately, it does have like that person who just showed up at New York City type thing. You're looking up a lot more than you should be, like looking around like more than people would expect. You do have a group of guards approach you guys. It could give you that "who are you" look. But that's where we're going to wrap up for today's session. We're going to pick up next session, get through the last few rounds of the infiltration as well as the influence side. You guys, the infiltration team has made their way into the belly of the beast. They are in the airship. They do have 5 awareness points, potentially higher after this complication, depending on how it goes. The influence team has gotten some information. As well, Jeet was able to charm the captain and find out that they are capturing other nations' ships and taking their people prisoner and forcing them to work for the Malgus family. Learned too with Will that Essie is not super happy with some of the decisions that Lady Malgus has made regarding the luminescence, but kind of closed the door before we could find out exactly what. And then found out from the magistrate before that door kind of at least kind of closed, that she's not very happy with the way the Malguses have failed to follow procedure. It thinks there's something weird going on with the way that they handle prisoners because they've not received. They're not sending the usual flow to the capital that most will do. So with that, we will wrap up next session. We will hopefully finish this one, kind of the first bit of it, get into Belric's archetype adventure, and then close that out before we get into the tournament and level 6. So yeah, join us for session 19. Is hopefully it'll be a jam-packed one, but we should be able to get through it and get the last bit of both of these, the next piece of that one too.
As long as we don't try to invent democracy for anybody, I think we'll probably be able to make it through.
I mean, that did throw off my timing a little bit, but it's good. But it was definitely very interesting. But with that, so thanks everybody for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.